You're listening to Needless to Say, another disgraceful member of the Damaged Goods Podcast Network. Check out us and other great shows at damagedgoodsinc.com.
All right, tonight's been a long-awaited episode. We're going to talk about our experience at Rhode Island Comic-Con, which was, by and large, an absolute rousing success, not only for us, but for everybody who was at the show. I think they got it right this year.
Yeah.
But I think we can all agree that we weren't going to do a traditional intro tonight.
No.
Definitely not.
Something happened. One of the best things about going to Comic-Con this year and having a table there and being a part of it was all the friends we made. And surprisingly enough, a lot of the friends we made were actually young kids.
Yep.
And, because we had a wheel at the table, we had things set up. It looked like a fun booth. And kids came over and they wanted to interact with us. And we had a lot of fun hanging out, meeting their parents, and spending some time with the kids. And we had one kid in particular who showed up at our table every day he was at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
He made a point of it. And he came over. He wanted to spin the wheel. He wanted to get on the microphone. He wanted to record his wrestling promos and everything else. And he made a real immediate impact and a deep and lasting one. And unfortunately today we found out that this little guy passed away for reasons we don't yet know.
Yeah.
So a lot of the audio we're going to feature later will not feature this one young man.
No.
But I want to break tradition, not only by doing an intro off the cuff, but also by raising our glass before the show even starts to the memory of our new friend.
Yep.
And with that, he was dressed up like a superhero all 3 days. So I think it's only right. The maestro, if you could break tradition here as well and play him off right with some truly heroic music.
Welcome back to Needless to Say. I'm here with Sneezy and Sloth.
Yeah, that's
That's
pretty
right. You
much
sound,
it.
sounded
It
a
does
little
sound about-
muffly.
sounds about right.
I don't know. I think I sound like I should be singing the blues.
Yeah,
I
you
feel
do.
like I got that sexy voice thing going on, but we just played back the
Yeah.
intro, and I sounded normal. So I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
in my own head I sound this
You
way.
actually sounded better than usual. I
Yeah,
don't
it was
get
weird. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm not going to have to use any EQ on that. It was like perfect. I was like, that's the sound I've been trying to achieve.
I sounded as good as the 90 minutes of audio we cut out from your voice every week.
Exactly. You know,
Oh, man. But what a week, boys. What a weekend.
Can I say this? More than even joining the network and more than going live on the internet, I think this may have been the biggest week in this show's
it
history.
was.
It was incredible.
Not may have been. It definitely was. It was fucking awesome, man.
We were at Rhode Island Comic-Con from Friday to Sunday.
Which you people have mercilessly had to listen to.
Yeah, you had to listen to us. But, we finally, we got there. We didn't record as much as we wanted to and thought we were, because we had a constant influx of people at this table.
We got lucky with position. They gave us a booth position right near where they were doing the what they call epic photo ops.
Yeah.
And so there was always a flood of people in the aisles waiting for these photo
Yeah.
ops. And I think we got some residual effect. Like, I think
Yeah.
people were like, well, I got 20 minutes before my photo op.
Let me
is
wander
scheduled.
around. Yeah.
But I don't want to go too far. So they'd linger.
yeah.
And we got people who hung out.
Yes. Yep.
And then they hung out again.
Yep.
And then they hung out a third day. And we actually made some friends.
We
Yeah,
made friends.
definitely.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but that was the cool thing is, like I said, I mean, we were nervous. I was nervous when we got there. I didn't know what to expect. I'm thinking, are we just going to be sitting in a booth twiddling our thumbs, like looking like assholes,
Our thumbs.
You got,
yeah.
You got half of that right anyway.
Yeah. So, but no, we sat there looking like assholes with a ton of people around us.
Yep.
That's right.
And right immediately, I was like, it's working. Like this, it was, that anxiety went away. But then the anxiety. Then as we drank beers and people gathered around and we got louder and we had literally at one point had a circle around the table of people laughing and cheering when people were spinning the wheel, the prize wheel.
Yes.
But it wasn't like just once or twice. That happened all weekend, man.
Yeah.
It was great.
To the point, well, I mean, I think we should break it down. Why don't we go day by day? I think we should talk about the experience because there were some things about setting up and coming into the building.
Oh, well, yeah.
So I guess we should just break it down. I mean, what we set up to do was create an interactive kind of booth. Not only were we going to give away, we made like beer koozies. Yeah. And we had our stickers, which are like those obnoxious 3-letter stickers that people put on the back of their cars to let you know that they travel more places than you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, like fuck those guys. Yeah. So now we have our own fuck those guys sticker.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Ours say NTS. And a lot of people are going like, is that the Netherlands?
Yeah, no, exactly.
No, it's they look good. They look good. And we were giving stuff away, and we felt good about it. And Craig made this amazing wheel. And it looked like Plinko and all those other things on the prices, right? And we had chalkboard and Mike with his immaculate
Yeah,
handwriting.
you guys thought I was going to come in there with a piece of shit cardboard spinning wheel.
I did. I was expecting people to sue us for splinters.
I know. Believe me, I know Craig, and I've seen his fucking over the years. I've seen him come through all the time with shit like that. Oh no, I'm just making a little a paper airplane. You get there, it's like a fucking giant metal jet, fucking ready to take off. Fucking watch this.
But I've also seen Craig's car.
Yeah.
And I've seen his attention to detail. So you're going to have to forgive me for thinking we were getting plywood on a nail, you know?
No, that's one thing I got to say about Craig, man. When he says he's going to do something, he does it all.
Well, he did, and it looked good, and we had it in the corner of the table. So immediately there was a point of reference for anybody walking by.
Exactly.
Like they've got something going on.
Not only was it awesome looking, it was loud too. So that ticking sound as it went around actually attracted
we made some
too.
friends that very first 10 minutes.
No doubt.
Oh, because we were right across from an artist who travels Comic-Con to Comic-Con, so he's probably used to the noise. Who wasn't as used to the noise was the very nice Cross Pen people.
Yes, right across from us.
Very, very quiet. Beautiful work. Beautiful stuff.
Man.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Within 10 minutes, at one point they asked me to take a photo of them in front of their booth.
Yeah, I remember,
And I'm like, well, do you want me to use my camera? And she's like, why would I want you to use my camera?
Brad's like,
I
oh, wait.
remember
Oh,
that. Yeah. And Brad's like, okay, hold my beer.
Yeah, exactly. And we already had beers. The beers were over.
Right there, they knew what they were in
But what
for.
they initially asked, in my defense, they said, can we take pictures of each other?
Yeah.
So I figured they were just offering to take our picture first.
That's what I thought,
that's
too.
all.
Yeah, I
That's-
did.
no,
I'm not an idiot. I'm
No,
close.
but the funny part was like that 1 minute of silence in between when she asked you and then you look at us and you're like, oh, wait a minute. She wants me to go. Oh, okay, I'll be right back, guys. Hold my
And
beer.
then I shoot
He goes
something
across.
else up with that, too.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
There was just no...
It was awesome, man.
There was a decided lack of communication from the first moment.
Yeah.
Then we get a crowd of people who are like, wait, I'm at Comic-Con. I just spent X amount of dollars to get in here. Oh, shit, I can win something. Boom! Spin that
'cause
wheel.
We weren't charging to spin the wheel. We weren't
No,
charging for
everything
the
was
raffle,
free.
raffle
Everything
tickets.
was free.
Yeah.
The whole idea of this was to promote the show. I think we're one of the only booths there that took a net loss.
Yeah.
Well,
Everybody else-
our prizes were fucking nice, too, no?
No, the prizes were great.
And we'll get into that, too.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we set up the table and everything was good. What we noticed is, because we got to go in the service entrance,
Yeah.
Yep.
and we had like this weird all-access vibe. Like we felt like roadies.
Yeah.
Should have been carrying amps and mics and shit
Yeah.
like that in there. And instead, we just walked in and they said, okay, good. Here you go. Here's your badge and keep going. And I'm like, yeah, I've got a machete in the back. of my bag. I've got a bomb here. Nobody checked us for shit.
No
one
security
I
whatsoever.
I always have a knife. I always have a knife on me. And I realized that when we got there, I'm like, holy shit. I still have my knife on me.
And he noticed it as he was cutting cord.
Yeah.
And he cut it and then burned the ends. I'm like, how many other things are you going to smuggle in?
You know, chopping shit, burning things.
anything
Fucking,
else
yeah,
you wanna
needless
do
to
in
say,
here?
Craig's here.
Should get rid of the wheel. Next year we'll bring a guillotine.
No shit.
Roll the head.
But yeah, it was funny. But yeah, the lack of security for us as vendors was slim.
Yeah, well, it was
You know
slim.
what I mean?
It was
I mean,
none.
It was nil.
It was zero.
Even to a point when we came in from the other side, when we had walked out to go get lunch and stuff, and came
Yeah,
back,
right.
and I just walked right through the metal
Yep,
detector
like
as it
nothing.
went beep 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 beep, and I just showed him my badge. The guy's like, "Oh, okay, good."
me and
I also love that you didn't get kicked out for walking around it.
Yeah, yeah, I did walk around it at first because I knew it was gonna beep.
I'm like,
Well,
Craig,
I
that's not
walked
how
around
that
it.
works.
Yeah,
I walked around it. Me and Leslie went outside to go smoke a butt, and they were upstairs with the wands,
yeah.
checking everybody. I'm like, sorry, babe,
You had to-
you don't have this.
you don't
You
have-
got to go through there. I went right around the
Yeah,
guy.
exactly.
Didn't say anything.
Ultimate unlimited power.
Oh my god, all weekend long.
It's terrible.
I hate those prequels, but I was just all weekend. I'm like, unlimited power. Because I'd walk back there, then I'd say hi to the bartender because she got to know us. At
Yeah.
one point,
Oh, yeah.
I took my credit card out. She's like, how many are you grabbing this time? 5? There was a 2-beer limit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
could. You
She's
couldn't.
pu- I took me 12 minutes to walk from the bar back to our booth between the crowd and the 5 beers in my hands.
One time I'm walking in from coming outside, and Brad's at the bar. He's like, "Oh, sweet, perfect, yeah, grab these beers." I was like, damn kid, Manny did that to me too.
It's insane. I mean, I think the first day, that Friday night, I spent like $100 and something on beer.
Just on beer.
I was close.
You know what I mean? Just buying rounds.
Pretty
it
much
wasn't
what
cheap,
I spend all of my
but it
money
wasn't
on
overly
that
expensive
weekend.
either. It wasn't like going to a football game or anything.
No, but I
No.
mean, you're walking around with a plastic cup of beer, and I don't care what you say. When you don't have them lined up in front of you, and you're not conscious of how much you're drinking, they just go down easier.
Yeah.
And so we were drinking good beer because it was only $1 more than cheap beer.
Yep.
And we're throwing out the cups, and I'm like, wait a minute, I have nothing here to drink.
Yeah.
Let's go get more.
Yep.
Yep.
And so we drank ourselves stupid.
Yep.
The first night we drank before the show started. We went over to Pizzeria Uno.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Incidentally, great pizza. Never ate that.
Freaking awesome
Yeah.
pizza,
Good pizza.
man.
Good stuff. We drank. We drank 2 20-ounce beers in there, and
Two or
then
three.
went into the show. But by the end of the night, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, this is night one, and we were a lot. We had a lot of people around the table throwing their arms up in the air. People, let's explain the wheel.
Well, go ahead.
The
It's your
wheel, the wheel. What we did is we were handing out raffle tickets for these prizes, and what we did was we put on the wheel. There were sections you could win 2 extra tickets, 5 extra tickets. There was one spot for 10 extra tickets, but then we had other spots in the wheel. One of them was to make people beatbox, and we would record it. And the other one was to make them do, because it was Comic-Con, a Chewbacca growl, which surprisingly there was a lack of talent in that department.
I think I heard more people do that at McDonald's in the morning
Yeah.
accurately
Yeah.
than
The
we had.
beatbox sounded. A couple of them sounded freaking.
Oh,
pretty
yeah, we had
damn
some good
but-
ones.
Well,
We'll
we
get
had the
into
one
that.
guy from T-Mobile. We'll play him later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
But I mean, and then we had, like the Yo Mama joke. We had spots like that. And it was funny because the first guy to come in and spin the wheel immediately snapped off one of the pegs.
2 of them.
2 of them, because he spun it twice. He
two-
goes,
he
"Oh,
broke
did
2
I
of
do
them."
that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I kind of spin it from the wheel." And he grabbed the peg again and snapped it. Now, everybody else that spun that wheel, hundreds of people spun that wheel
From the pegs.
from the
even.
pegs. No one broke them off
He was the only one to break all weekend.
because he just did it. He didn't. I don't know. But
In all
anyway,
fairness, I believe he was a professional wrestler.
yes,
Yes, he was.
And I think we have to acknowledge the strength and sheer power
yes,
that he was bringing to the table, literally.
yes.
Yep.
And we're going to meet him later, too.
Yeah, we'll meet him later.
Awesome guy.
But it was funny. So, but then he broke one in such a spot that it was perfect. He broke it between a 3 extra tickets and the beatbox, which was great because I was sitting close enough to the wheel that every time someone would land in that spot, I was able to just move the wheel over to beatbox.
Yeah, no one. Needless to say, no one rolled a 3.
Yeah.
It was always.
But it was funny. I was doing it blatant right in front of him.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, oh, that sucks.
Oh,
I was
look
just
at
sliding it back.
How
you know?
many times have I been like, oh, gravity sucks?
Yeah, yeah. But it was fun. But it was people were waiting, and when people went to
people were in
spin the
line.
wheel. When people went to spin the wheel, people were waiting to see if they were going to have to do one of those things. which made it great. And then by the end of the night and the first night, we had a crowd around the table. And every time someone rolled, the beatbox, the Chewbacca growl, everybody threw their arms up in the air like, yeah!
And then we had those people that just came by. They didn't even care if they got tickets. They just wanted to spin the wheel.
Yeah,
to
we
see
had
if
a
they
lot
could
of
get one
that.
those.
I think one thing we went into the weekend saying was activity is contagious. Like our table has to look like something is happening.
Yep.
Nobody has ever had a podcast there before, at least not as a vendor. Right? Nobody has ever had a booth there.
Not that I know of.
I've gone every year and never seen one. There's podcasts have been there, but usually moderating panels or doing a panel, or recording a show there.
And there were other ones this year too.
Yeah,
there was a few
exactly.
of them. But nobody ever thought of themselves as a vendor. And we had a booth strictly to promote the show, and we sold nothing. We made no money.
Nothing.
We spent
Gave
hundreds and
away
hundreds of dollars.
Yes.
Just by staying on brand
Yes.
and drinking beer,
I came home with $46.
Oh, you gotta be kidding!
I came home with 46 cents.
Well, but you only went there with $1.46.
Yeah.
So Craig went there with a little
beer.
more.
Yeah, I'll say a little bit more.
I brought a few bucks.
No, almost pretty much.
Stacks.
I think I bought two things, one thing.
Yeah,
I think that was it,
And alcohol.
everything. Well, except the beer, obviously.
But it was good. But we set out to get people aware of us. We wanted somebody to say, "Hey, you guys are the podcast," and by the morning of day 2,
They were saying
said
that. They were saying that.
Hey, you guys are the podcast. I've heard about you.
Yep.
So day 1 was a success. I mean, granted, all the other vendors in the area kind of had that crossed-armed look. Like, fuck this, I'm going to spend 3 days with these douchebags.
Yeah.
They're not going
The
to be
first
better
day.
tomorrow.
No. And I thought this is what I was getting as I thought everybody around us hated us.
They did.
Yeah,
You were
they
not
did.
wrong.
No,
Well, the cross people across the way well, I'm not gonna say the first day. Obviously,
No, the first
Everybody
night,
was
they
like,
all
"Whoa."
hated
They
our
didn't
fucking
like
guys.
us.
No,
But by morning 2, by the second morning, or the first morning, I should say, like the
Yeah.
next day, we all kind of stumbled in.
Yeah.
yeah, we did.
We didn't
hungover.
look good. We got home by the grace of God.
The night before the drive home. You guys remember the drive home?
Yeah,
right?
I do.
Well, you should have felt better than all of us.
I remember the drive to your home, and then me and Brad driving to the bar,
Yeah.
and then that drive home.
Well, yeah, my stomach wasn't feeling so great on that ride home, and just out of nowhere, I'm like, wow, I'm actually gonna throw up. I wasn't bombed or anything. I wasn't buzzed. It was just.
Yeah.
So Brad rushed a plastic bag to me, and
And then you filled it.
I filled it up.
And then immediately looked at me and
playing with
handed it to me like, "What do you want to do with this?" Like,
tapping
what?
it on the bottom of the bag.
I'm
I'm
like,
like,
what?
check this out, dude.
Yeah. Like, what?
Get the fuck out of here. What do you want?
And you also realized we were in
what the
traffic waiting to get out of a parking garage.
yeah.
You could have
so
gotten
what?
out of the car.
No, actually,
and
we
met
were-
us down at the
I
bottom
think,
of the
no,
turn.
we were out of the parking garage.
It
already.
doesn't
we
matter
weren't.
where we
I think.
were.
It doesn't
You
matter.
handed it to me like I wanted it.
Well, what the fuck?
I was like, "What the fuck do I want?"
That's what we do, bro. It's what we
That's
do,
what we
man.
do. I would have slapped
That's
him
what
in
we
the
do.
face. I would have taken it.
I was driving.
I would have smacked him upside the chin with it.
No, he couldn't have done that because
But it
all
was
three of
funny.
us would have been fucking.
The
Puke
next
ready.
morning though, we strolled in. It was It was
Strolled.
mellow.
It was nice mellow.
Yeah, it was mellow because we got there. We were there,
We were there
40 minutes
right
before
in.
the fucking doors open.
Yeah.
And-
really. We
no,
got
we
there
we
right
cut
on
it close.
time.
We cut it close. that
Everybody
morning.
around us knew.
Yeah,
They
hell
just
yeah.
knew we had that look.
We were all walking, strolling in with coffees, all.
Yeah.
And everybody saw that we were just a little bit more subdued
Yeah.
than we were the night before.
That didn't-
we
that
picked
didn't
it
last
up.
long,
We
though.
picked
But
it
that-
up.
That
Yeah.
did not last long at all.
Yeah, but then it turned out, they liked us.
Yeah.
Because I think what happened was, we're bringing people into that aisle.
We were,
I
big
mean,
time.
granted, so is their stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean,
we helped each other out a lot.
I think our loud, obnoxious thing in a minute brought a lot of people like, "What the hell's going on down there?"
Well, I tell you what. Let me ask you this, and I'm not knocking them. They had beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
But let's be real.
Incredible
If you went to
stuff.
Comic-Con saying, I am going to walk out of here with a Spider-Man pen that's actually a good pen,
Yeah,
you'd be lying because nobody did that.
yeah.
But a lot of people walked out with really nice
With really
pens.
awesome
They spent
pens,
40,
yeah.
50, $60 for a pen or more. There was like one Star Wars one that was $300.
It was
No,
$350.
It was $350. Yeah.
The Chewbacca one was $350.
That's what I
the
mean.
The Vader one was even more. I think it was like $425.
That's what I'm getting at. The people
good
would have
shit.
never stumbled on that booth.
Right, beautiful.
I'm not
things.
taking credit for it.
No,
But I'm saying that there was a lot of different things in that aisle, and we were just part of it. There was also a shoe guy. There was some
let's
Star
put it
Wars
this way.
shoes.
Let's put it this way.
Those were incredible.
Yeah, those were fucking nice too.
But there was a lot of diversity. in
Yeah,
that
right.
area.
And a lot of these people were bouncing back and forth between booths. You know,
Yeah.
that was the big thing.
And we ended up making friends with the people at the pen booth.
Yeah, it was awesome,
and,
man.
and the guy
Good
to our
people.
left. And then even a few rows down was a guy selling the T-shirts. Man, those T-shirts were freaking awesome. I ended up buying 2 of them.
That was 18 minutes into day one.
Yeah, I bought that one shirt. I had to.
We all kind of did a lot of our shopping right away. I was coming back with pop figures left and right.
Yeah, exactly.
And I got our network mate Shade. She's made it very clear that any men who buy toys are not really men.
yeah.
Sorry, honey.
I also have to mention the AT Cross people. I got to mention Deb. Happy anniversary! It was their anniversary.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
right.
true.
Yep.
that weekend.
And so we celebrated by cheering whenever somebody had the beatbox.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody celebrates in their own way.
But they had a good time. You know, we had a good time with them after, you know, and the other people around us. And day one was nuts.
All right, but let's be real. The one thing, the big takeaway, it wasn't. Nobody cares that we had a good day. This show was not built on good days.
Yeah.
The show was built on all the things that go wrong.
Our listeners know.
And the first 3 hours when there was nobody in the show, it was great because I'm like, this is really a cool setup. It's fun.
Yeah.
And then people arrived.
Yeah.
And for as many cool people we met 10 times as many assholes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All plans went out the window
Yep.
after people started.
I have to say this.
accumulating.
Comic-Con, by and large, is a fun event. I'll admit it. I had fun. But there are so many unfuckable, rapey-looking people there.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it felt like I was eating at a Subway on the campus of Penn State University.
Oh my god.
It was just one of the most uncomfortable things.
Like wet meat slapping.
Apparently, they only sell Harley Quinn outfits if
No
you're
doubt.
$350 or higher.
or freaking Catwoman ones too, man.
Every one of those
good
girls, I mean, I know she wears a lot of makeup in the comic and all that as part of the character. Every one of them looks like they just finished filming one of those gag blowjob videos.
Exactly.
She's got lipstick in her ears.
Yeah.
She had tears running down her face. Like you can almost hear Daddy missing the dance recital.
Yeah.
It
Holy
was
crap.
so bad.
Yeah, so that was just day one though. Day two was when shit started to really happen.
I agree.
I mean, the cool thing about day two was right out of the gate, we had some people show up to the booth that were there on Friday night. Like just stopping by to say, hi guys, how's things going?
I almost felt like they were testing us.
Yeah.
Like, are these guys really cool? Or they, they can act like all cocky and shit now?
Yeah.
No, I mean, we had, I hate to say the term, but I'm going to do it. We had regulars.
Yeah,
Yeah, we did.
We did.
We had friends.
Yep.
It was cool. People who paid real money for a 3-day pass.
For a 3-day pass came and we're hanging out with us. Wayne.
Shout out to Wayne.
Wayne, buddy.
Wayne.
Fucking
Was-
awesome dude,
Wayne,
man.
We met him Friday night. He hung out for a while. Came back Saturday. Hung out for a long time.
Yeah, he skipped panels.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Which
did.
Wayne, you shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Oh, he was cool. I'm glad he did, though. He was fucking cool, man.
I mean, I was glad we met Wayne. It was a lot of fun.
I'm
It
just
was-
glad
it
he
was cool
accepted
hang-
both of your Facebook requests.
He did.
Earlier in the week. I had to wait till today
Yeah.
to get accepted by Wayne.
Well, he does a lot of cool sounds and stuff. You know what I mean? Does a lot of good voices. and shit.
voices.
Awesome.
But he was funny as hell, and we had a good time with him.
Yeah,
and he
I
was
wanted
there.
to. I've been meaning to. I told him I was going to call him. I will call him, but this week has been,
Oh, it's been crazy.
unbelievable.
We've had a lot.
this
I just
episode
really hope
and
he
everything
answers
else.
the phone as a
I
transformer.
know. I know, man. That'd be awesome.
But
Nah,
I mean,
good
but other
guy.
than that,
Awesome guy.
other shit started happening when this is day two is when we started realizing the actual access that we had.
Yeah.
You know,
We were that brings up. We were in an awesome spot because we were near the bathrooms, the bar, and
Yes.
access to go outside and smoke where no one else could go. Right by everyone. We actually walked through the security office to
yes,
get outside.
to get outside, just walking right
And I
through it.
actually said to the guy, I'm like, I'm sorry if I'm, and he's like, no, go. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
You
Everybody-
have the passive doom.
Yeah.
It was awesome,
You
man.
have, again, unlimited power.
Yeah. So you're going out there to smoke a butt or something or whatever, you know, and you realize so is everybody else.
Yeah.
Like Kiefer Sutherland.
Fuck you.
You know? Yeah.
Fuck you.
Day 2 was the day I realized Mike had no idea what Kiefer Sutherland looked like. Because I'm like, how you doing? He's like, hey, how's it going? And then we
Fuck it.
keep going. And,
I didn't even
and
notice
I'm
him.
like, wow, that was weird. Mike's like, what? I'm like, that was Kiefer Sutherland. He's like, really?
Yeah, he was getting on the elevator,
like,
that access elevator.
Like
there
Kiefer
with
Sutherland, man.
fucking
He
a
was just
shitload of
fucking
people.
standing right there. We said hi to him.
You know what would be crazy though? If Donald Sutherland was there, Mike could be like, oh,
Holy
shit.
crap! Exactly. Yeah.
No, I didn't even like.
You didn't
look
even
at him.
notice it. Nah.
I
I
just
mean,
was,
it-
you know.
In a way, that's good.
Yeah,
You
I
look
was-
like we belong.
Well, I wasn't gonna
yeah.
fucking say anything to him if I
I
seen him
never
anyway.
said nothing
really, you know.
to make anybody uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
Lost my sock. Psh,
yeah.
fucking knock him out. What am I supposed to do?
Like
24 went 8 seasons too long.
one of the first times I went outside on Saturday was to have a cigarette. There was this woman smoking a cigarette, and this guy, he had his back to me, and he
usual.
wasn't smoking, but he was standing there and he was talking, you know, and so I'm standing there, I'm smoking a cigarette, and I said hi, you know, just because I'm standing there. And she says hi, and he turns around and he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" And
Ta-da.
it's Emilio Rivera from the
shit.
Mayans and Sons of Anarchy.
That's awesome,
and I'm
man.
like, "Oh shit!" But I didn't give that "oh shit," you know what I mean? Because I'm
Yeah,
not going
yeah.
to bother him. He's on his break.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? For a
Right.
minute, he's getting away, and I'm not going to.
And Mike wasn't with you at this point.
No,
right?
no, no.
'Cause
Mike
Mike-
wouldn't have known who he
Nah, I
was
wouldn't
anyway.
have known. I've never
No,
seen.
Mike
any
would have
of
been
that
looking
shit.
for a wall to put him
be like,
behind.
You're a Mayan? What?
But just stuff like that was really cool, and that's what I mean. Like shit like that started to happen on day 2, and I think day 2 was, it was a long day. You know, we were there from 9 in the morning until 9 at night.
Minimum, yeah.
You know, well, 7 at night, actually.
Yeah,
But-
we booked out of there pretty
Yeah, we
quickly.
did.
We were
On
like, yeah,
Saturday.
leave the laptop. We don't care.
Well,
Yeah.
we learned. I mean, the learning curve through 3 days was so huge, and we picked it up really quick between where to park, where to go in, where to go
Yeah.
out, where to do this, where to get that, get
Yeah.
this. We did pretty good, I'd say.
we
No,
had a
we
pretty
did.
good run in you and me.
Yeah, we did.
And
We went out. Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, you're talking about going outside and
No,
smoking.
but I said we can't forget too, because we started doing this and we started drinking beers and we kept wandering off, and we always had backups at the table, and that was sometimes Manny was with us,
Yep, and his
and
family.
he didn't have the vendor pass, so he couldn't follow us around to the special places.
and he's so used to going.
He was
to
there
the
with his
special
daughter
places.
and his daughter's boyfriend, you know, and they were awesome, and his son, you know, and they were great. They helped us out at the table.
It was
lot.
a great thing to have in terms of making it look busy. What
Yeah.
happened that was bad is that the three of us started looking at that as an opportunity to take more breaks.
Yeah.
And at one point,
Go
I came
buy-
back from getting beer, shockingly enough, and I came back, and at the table was Manny, his daughter, and Wayne.
yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, is anybody who's on the banner?
I must have been in
Actually-
charge at that point.
And you just
It
walked
must have
off.
been me. I don't
Yeah.
know. I
And,
don't
and to their
remember.
credit, Manny's future son-in-law was basically handing out.
Having people spin the wheel.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
handing
was
out
he was like
tickets.
one of those old time
He's like a
carnies,
carnival
like,
bar-
man. He's
carnival
like,
barker.
hey, come in, people. You know, the
It was
wheel.
phenomenal
It was
that everybody
awesome,
got
man.
behind us, and that
Yeah.
was really cool. But yeah, I think next year, if we're going to go through regrets and things to do differently
Yeah,
later.
absolutely.
But I think one thing is, at least two of us have to be at the table at all
Yeah.
times.
at all
Yeah.
times, yeah.
Okay.
And we always said that we were going to do that, but once you
We
get
did for the
there,
most part.
we did, yeah.
For the most part, we were all
I
there.
could not believe it though. I'm like, does anybody work here? You know, I couldn't believe it. But we had a good thing. We stepped outside, and we started talking to this guy, and he was smoking.
You and Mike.
Yeah, me and Mike.
Yeah.
And I just need some fresh air.
Big
you know?
guy, knee brace.
Yeah, he came limping over to us, and he
fucking
seemed like a
limping.
cool guy, and he had a vendor pass or a guest pass. It was a
Guest,
guest
yeah.
pass. And I'm like, he must be an artist or something like that. I didn't think twice about it. We start talking, and I said, hey, man, we've been talking for 10 minutes. I should get your name. And he said his name was John DiMaggio. Now, that doesn't mean a lot to the average person. But if you like cartoons and video games, this means a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, this guy, most people know him as the voice of Bender on Futurama.
Yes.
The only reason to watch Futurama.
Yeah,
Fucking awesome.
exactly.
Definitely
Bender.
the only reason.
And he's just as funny in real life. Like, that's him. But he's
He's a
also on
funny
my
bastard.
favorite video game of all time. He does the voice of Marcus on Gears of War.
Yep.
Yeah.
Guy's incredibly
he
funny.
does more than that.
Oh, he
more
does
than
millions of
Tons,
things.
yeah.
tons of stuff,
Millions of
tons of
things.
stuff.
The guy was killer because he's an old school comedian.
Yeah.
And we started talking old New York comedy, and it wouldn't be an episode if I didn't mention that, and we the same clubs and everything. But he was just a hang of a guy. The only time he got a little squirrely with us is when I mentioned we have a podcast.
Because now he thinks you want something.
But we ended up not pursuing it. I don't.
No,
know.
we just met. Brad mentioned it once, and that was it, and it just kept going. I mean, we were talking to this guy for a good 25, 30 minutes.
At one point, I was heading back in. He's like, "What?"
He's
Your
like,
table
"Why?
will be
What
there."
are you doing?"
Yeah.
And so at one point, he had me and fucking Brad fucking rolling, man. He was making fun of his one time.
He was
manager,
a promoter. He was
a promoter.
yeah.
Yeah.
One of his old promoters and shit back in New York and stuff. And
It was a
he
guy who
just-
handled most of the big name comics in
Yeah.
New York, and he was booking them up and down the East Coast. And he did this whole spiel in this very stereotypically Jewish voice.
It
Because
was
this
so
guy was
funny,
apparently a
dude.
6'4" blonde Jew,
Yeah.
which I want to see.
Yeah.
I have to see that. I need a Jew that can dunk. I want to see that.
and it was great. But then he continued to tell the story in this guy's voice. He just kept going and going.
It was a
fucking
riot. It was
funny,
a
man.
riot. He was a good guy. So we let him go, and he ended up meeting some friends. So he did what he was doing.
Well, he knew someone that you opened up for at one point.
yeah, it was a comedian named Greg Rigel, who is his he's like
Funny as hell.
yeah,
Wicked
funny dude,
funny,
and he's
man.
a benchmark in New York.
Yeah.
Like, this guy is just a quintessential New York comic.
Yep.
I don't know how much he travels out of New York, but I know that you stand a very good chance of seeing him most nights in New York.
He's
Yeah.
a funny bastard.
He
man.
works like a motherfucker, and I had the pleasure, one of the few shows I opened up for anybody of value, he was one of them.
That's
and
awesome,
It was
man.
a really cool thing.
That was awesome.
And I learned a lot just by watching him. So that was cool that I name dropped him, and then I name dropped him on Twitter because I'm a whore.
Yeah.
And he gave me a shout. So that was cool.
That is cool.
But DiMaggio was like, "Wow, really? You know him? Yeah, I know him."
Well, I think,
and it was
if I
like-
had come in and been like, Katie Seagal, talk to me about Matt Groening.
Yeah, yeah.
Were you
Yeah.
ever
You'd
on
be
The
like, I have no
Simpsons?
idea. I have no idea. I don't talk to them.
I played it right, But
Yeah, it was
it's-
awesome.
Sadly, that was the end of my celebrity good stories for the weekend.
That was the only celebrity besides brushing by some guy I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
Actually, we saw what's his name too? Machete.
Oh, yeah.
Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo, all
was hanging out
4'9"
all
of
the
them.
time.
The guy
He's
is
so tiny,
it's amazing.
and like
'cause-
half of them is white tube socks that go up to his freaking go up to his
I
thighs.
was amazed because when you see him in movies, I mean, he's a jacked guy. Like, he's cut.
Oh, yeah.
And especially, I mean, at his age too.
He's
but
71 years old.
but he's cut. You know what I mean? And even you go back into a few, you go back 15 years to like From Dusk Till Dawn and
Yeah.
stuff like that when he was jacked.
When he was that
But then
guy
you realize
back in
he
the
was
day.
jacked. He's fucking 5'1".
Yeah.
They make him look so big.
He's so tiny,
You know what I mean?
dude. He had a posse with him too, man. There was a
course
lot
he
of
did.
people
When
with
you're
him.
4'9", you need.
And they were
need
all
that.
chicks, though. They were all. It was
That's
all
it.
chicks,
But I mean, honestly,
He's an awesome guy.
He's a
he
really
seemed
good
like
guy.
a really cool guy. He gave
Yeah.
us a nod when we
Yep.
walked past him. But
Yep.
again, with the tube socks pulled up to his knees and a wife beater. I mean, if this guy was wearing
It
a
was so
blue
funny.
mesh tank top or like in the colors of the flag of his country,
Yeah.
like he's walking around like a Mexican or like a Nicaraguan
doubt.
flag on he couldn't have looked more stereotypically Hispanic.
He would have been complete. He would have been complete.
I mean, if he was trying to sell you like something on the subway, it wouldn't have surprised me.
No, I know. Like what? Like batteries?
Yeah. Well. But anyway, but my day got worse. They had a whole room of wrestlers.
Yeah,
'Cause that's what
Brad
you
was
do
all
with
excited. That's all you wanted.
Well,
I
you
know.
you know something's wrong when you got to take wrestlers and sequester them.
Yeah,
Because you know that they're trouble, and most of them are drug addicts or drunks or whatever. But I figured, what the hell? Let me go check out the room of wrestlers. And if you know anything about my history with wrestling, one of the big groups that I always liked was the NWO.
Yeah,
You know, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall and X-Pac. And, well, X-Pac was later, but the point is they were all famous wrestlers. And I went up there, and I was all ready to drop on $100 more. Good beer money, I might add.
yep.
$100 just to take a photo with these three jitbags. And the reason I call them jitbags is because I watched them talk to volunteers, young kids, college kids, volunteering
To be there.
just to get in the door because they don't have the money or whatever
Yep.
else. They're helping out. They were getting them food and drinks, and hand over fist, they were helping them out. And at one point, I heard the one sentence no celebrity should ever say, "Don't you know who I am?"
Yeah,
And I'm pretty sure she answered no. Because I've never... And I say, fuck them.
yeah.
So, and I walked out and I said...
What do you think? You keep us Sutherland?
Exactly. Yeah. Who's that? John DiMaggio? I couldn't believe it. And, I have no delusions here. I know that most wrestlers are pricks. You don't get into that business because life is working out for you.
Yeah.
But these guys have the ability to make a bunch of fans happy. All you have to do
Yeah.
is pose a lot, maybe flex, maybe you say something funny, and they didn't do it. And they made this poor girl feel like shit. So everybody stayed in line except for me, and I got out of line, and the
Yeah,
guy
you
goes,
backed right out.
I was close too. I was probably third from going up there, and they were like, "Why are you leaving?" I'm like, "Because of that." And
Yep.
and a couple other people mentioned something on the way out. They were like, "I'm glad you did that."
Yeah.
See, there's some just to mention it. There's over 500 volunteers at this show every
Yes.
year.
Yep.
Over 500, and these people are not getting paid. They get swag from everybody.
Yeah, they come
We
around and ask everybody
we
to donate
donated
stuff.
all kinds
Yeah,
of
we
stuff.
donated.
I'm sure they really appreciated our
Koozies
koozies.
and stickers.
and stickers.
No, but
but
everybody gives them something.
but
you know?
how about this, Brad? How about if he was just playing his character,
He wasn't.
being a douche?
No, he wasn't.
he was being a douche.
Because I mean, he's never had a character that was not a heel.
When you saw the look on the girl's face, you know that he wasn't in character. He's got a notorious history. Of
What was
this.
he saying about the other wrestler? The other
I'm
guy.
glad I wasn't.
Oh,
there.
there was another wrestler, a guy named Nathan Jones, who didn't have a long wrestling career, but this guy's a powerlifter. The guy's fucking jacked. And he's
Yep.
also like a kind of a hermit. So the fact that he was at this show was kind of a big
Rare.
deal.
So he's a quiet guy.
And everybody, he had a big line. And sure enough, they had comments about that. And they're like, look at them all lining up for fucking Nathan Jones. Who the fuck is that guy? Don't they know who the fuck we are?
Yeah.
And like the other guys.
Apparently they do.
Yeah.
It sounds. I mean, I wasn't there to see it. I wish I was, but
Nah, fuck them. And you know what? I'm done with the wrestling thing. Like, I like wrestling. I'll watch it when I
Yep.
can. But you won't see me spend another dime on this kind of
those
bullshit.
those
Yeah.
guys are old school wrestlers. They're still douchebags. New school wrestlers. I mean, new guys.
Well,
they're
last
not
year was
like
Ric
that.
Flair.
They're not-
Now it's just how many more of my
Well, Ric
childhood
Flair
heroes?
was there this year.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You can't just like quit watching wrestling
I'm
or
not
liking
quitting
wrestling
watching
because
wrestling.
of that.
I'm just they're going to be TV characters. now.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't need to meet these guys anymore.
Yeah.
Last year, Ric Flair was a douche. How many more of my childhood heroes have to get ruined?
Well,
for
that's
that?
that's
yeah,
just let it
sucks.
go.
That's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Is the old school guys are like that.
And maybe
The
at
new guys
42,
aren't
maybe
like
it's
that.
time that I grew up and got new heroes.
And ironically,
Mike,
I
you're
mean-
my hero.
No.
I mean, ironically, he's sitting there. Don't you know who I am and why they at that guy's table? Look where you are. Look who's around you.
Yeah, the people that are fucking paying your bills is who's
Not,
around
but
you.
not only that. Look at the other stars that are around you. Way more well known than you are. You know, and I mean, it's.
I don't know,
Not
man.
that-
There's
no,
not
there-
too many of them
there's-
because fucking
there's a lot
wrestling's
of well-known
huge,
people.
brother.
No, I know.
Fucking
They're
giant.
well-known people. I get it. But there's a lot of people around you that are just in that crowd are
Yeah.
way more well-known than you are. You know, and
Well, not
you know,
by me.
But
Sad to say. But.
well, no, you didn't know who Kiefer
And I
Sutherland
don't-
was, so that
I
null
know-
and voids
no, I
everything that
know
you're
who-
saying right now.
Of course, I know who keeps. I didn't even see him. I didn't look at it. I didn't even see who was there.
You almost bumped into him.
I know. I didn't even notice. Didn't even. And then when you tap me, I turn around and go to look. He was already in the elevator,
Yeah.
so I had no idea.
But I mean, it's the majority of the celebrities that are at these things actually are very cool.
yeah, of course.
And they treat the fans the way they know that's why they're there. So 95% of these people are good and treating people
I get,
great.
I don't mean to, like, listen, if you're 40 something, 50 something years old and still known as a professional wrestler, there's a really good
Yeah.
chance life is still not playing out for you.
Yeah.
Maybe you're a little bitter about that, but act.
Yeah.
You made your career acting in character.
Well, think about
Exactly.
it too.
So fuck those
But
guys.
let me tell you,
At 40 something or 50 years old, and you're wrestling and you're still into it, there's a reason for that. It's because they have nothing else. Most of them don't have anything
The
else.
Rock isn't too common. John Cena isn't too common. Most wrestlers
Yeah.
are not going to be hosts on the Today Show.
No,
Yeah.
Or,
exactly.
or the number one paid guy in Hollywood. Okay, let's be real. So some of these guys got lucky breaks. If these guys are in it thinking they're going to be any more famous than they are, they're fooling themselves.
Yeah.
Okay, you made your living by falling down.
Especially when they
So
go
fuck
around
off.
treating people like fucking dirt like that. People
But it-
that aren't getting paid. That's the fucking
I
thing
mean,
that
you
gets
get
me. Do
people-
they even know that?
Yeah,
They don't.
no, it's true. So, like I'm saying though, 95% of these people are great, and they treat their fans the way they should be. I mean, especially like Brian O'Halloran from Clerks and everything. I got to meet him, and I asked him to do us a favor and and do a bump for us, and he did. And here it is.
Hey folks, this is Brian O'Halloran. You may know me from such great films as Clerks, Clerks 2, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Vulgar, Brutal Massacre, Clerks the Cartoon, and you're listening to the Needless to Say podcast. Now get the fuck out of my sight with this harassment, man. You and your blurry picture story, and then you're like, I got this podcast. What is it? Everybody's got a podcast. Shit, man, I take podcasts in my dump.
That is a nice man.
Fucking A, man.
It's like he
Fucking
knows
A.
you.
I know, right?
He's fucking. The guy is fucking awesome. Man.
Funny and
He's
rude.
such-
I love it.
I think you actually told the story on the show last year when we were talking about last year's Comic-Con.
Yes, I
Because
did.
you had the blurry photo.
I took a blurry photo. I paid for a photo with him. It was like $10. He's awesome. He's not. He doesn't go nuts. He's not. It was like $10 for a photo and and the autograph and everything. So I got the autograph because I collect them. I've said that before, but I get the photo with him. And Clerks is one of my top 5 movies. I love that movie. So to get that was just awesome. I was excited about it. So when I walked away, I handed my phone to someone else, the person behind me in line, and they took the picture. And I got the phone back, and I walked away, and the crowd moves in, and I
then
walk
you
away,
see
and I
it
look at it, and I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. It was blurry. You couldn't see shit. I mean, it was so beyond blurry. It was insane. So I was like, what the fuck? So I'm like, it was $10, whatever. I'm not gonna go back and wait in this line again for another
Yeah.
fucking half hour. I had other shit I needed to do. So
I had more money. I had more money I had to
Yeah.
spend.
Technically, the word need should never be
Yeah.
used. There was nothing
No.
you needed.
Actually, I don't know. That Craig
No.
might be the only person I know that needs to do stuff at Comic Con.
That happened to me too,
Needs to spend
The
money.
first one I went to with you, I went to the guy from the Sons of Anarchy.
yeah.
And the first picture I took with him looked like I was like getting corn out from between my teeth.
yeah.
And I didn't notice until I had already posted it to Facebook. I was just like, yeah, go.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, what's up with your fucking face? And I'm like, what, naturally? I'm like, no, your smile.
What naturally?
And sure enough, but I went back to the guy right there. And I said, look, I took a picture with you earlier and it sucked.
Yeah.
And he goes, show me. In
Yeah.
his Scottish accent. He goes, show me. You go, oh.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it blew his kilt right up. I mean, he looked at this fucking thing. He's like, oh, you're doing another one. So I think they're cool like that.
No, it was cool because I waited a full year to go back. Brian O'Halloran
That was just
came back
fucking
again.
stupid.
And, I came-
And he saved the fucking picture on his
I
phone
still
for a
had the
year.
picture. I still had the picture.
He
on my
saved
phone.
it, dude. He
So
kept
when I
showing.
I just walked up to him. I said, Mr. O'Halloran, we took a picture last year, and it came out, and I said, here it is. And he looks at it. He goes, You've had that on your fucking phone for a year.
Fucking loser.
He's like, what the fuck
I
is
saw
wrong
that
with
fucking
you?
picture like at least 30 fucking times.
So he was like, he's like, get over here. And we did it again. You know what I mean? And we took the picture again, and it came out awesome.
Oh, so that was last year. Now this year,
So then this
you
year-
approach him with a microphone.
I approached him with the microphone, and I tell him, I said, I know you're not going to remember me. You know, I said, obviously you're not going to remember who I am. I said, but I said, you were a nice guy. You retook a picture of me that I had on my phone for a year that was blurry as hell. And he just starts laughing, and then I asked him to do the bump, and he did it.
And that was killer, but I can't wait for next year when he comes back again and you're met by his friends, cease and desist.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but it was, I mean, he's a nice guy. He's an awesome guy.
Well, he's not real Hollywood, and I think that's what's cool.
No,
about
he's a
it.
down to earth.
But he's
yeah.
always here.
Yeah, he lives 3 hours away.
But if I was him, or
He
if I
lives
was
3
you,
hours
I'd-
away at this fucking address, and fucking Craig knows everything about him. He drives a blue car,
and he likes hot cocoa. All right, boys. I think we're getting a little long-winded here. What happened on day 3? Because day 3, I think, is when
Day 3 was my favorite.
Day 3 was great because everybody short of the Azores showed up.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
So a couple of Azorian
Everybody
like
in Mike's family showed up, and that was cool. We'll get to that in a second.
that was awesome.
But I think day 3 was the first day I realized we were starting to get cocky. And I don't know if you agree with me.
No, I agree with you. We started to get a little more.
There was a little
like,
swag
hey,
in
a
our
little
step.
swagger in our step. Well, we had 2 days of just pure. I mean, like people constantly around the table, people coming back to the table,
And that
People
was
mentioning
successful.
us.
and that didn't stop. It
mentioning
didn't
us
stop
over and over.
on the third day.
No, it kept going, but I think we felt like we owned the joint. Because we were clearly getting more attention than everybody else in our row at that point.
Yeah.
And, it's real easy to say, oh, yeah, well, we got more attention than them. Well, everybody else was asking for money.
Was selling stuff.
They're selling
were.
something.
That's
Yeah.
the thing.
We were literally just a place to hang out.
Yeah.
And Wayne was there again. That was cool.
Wayne came by again.
Yep.
We hung
And
out.
then we had
Yep.
our wrestling buddy stop by again. But yeah, I think we got a little arrogant. And, I actually struck out with another celebrity, too. And this one hurt.
Oh,
More so
yeah.
than my childhood hero wrestlers.
I know.
Our hero,
Hurt
the
all of
show's
us.
hero from last year, Joey Fatone,
Yes.
was wandering the floor on day 3. And he was kind of making the rounds. And I said, you know what? If we go up to him and say, last year, we were just a little show with some dreams and hopes, and we came up to you and you recorded something right into our phone, and it was just so small and non-effective. This year we have a booth and we're right there and we're sitting there with microphones. Look how far you got us.
Yeah.
I thought maybe that would have inspired something.
That's pretty much what I said to him, except for that last part.
Except you were holding a beer and wearing a fucking Vikings hat.
no, not a Vikings
not a
hat.
Vikings hat.
A Viking helmet.
A Viking helmet.
yeah,
Yeah.
Big difference. And not the football.
Yeah.
No,
No.
you had horns and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he, well, I asked him, can you come over and say, talk with us a little bit?
And he was like, of
He was
course,
oh,
sure.
yeah. But I
Giant
can't.
retarded guy. We'll
no,
come over there in a little
no,
bit.
that's not what he said. He's like,
Where's your handler?
get everybody over here. She was trying on shoes. He was buying her shoes.
Shouldn't somebody be?
He was
fucking
actually
have-
buying her shoes. He was like, which ones you want? Get whatever
Not
you
his
want.
handler, yours.
Oh,
Yeah.
my
He
handler.
was wondering when you were getting back to the bus.
The only handler I got is this freaking cool Batman belt that I got on the first day because my first belt fucking frayed when I went
Mike's
to
belt
put it on.
exploded.
It just
and then,
busted.
and then he had to
Thing
buy a
was
new one.
shredded. It was shredded already,
And
bro.
I tried so hard to get Mike to buy suspenders.
I looked for him, man, but it was
Suspenders
only
and a Viking helmet would have sold it. We would have had the interview.
you would have been there in a second.
No, Fatone shook my hand. He was very gracious.
He
But
took a
both of
picture
us,
with my
yeah,
sister too.
Yeah, and I just said
He
to
grabbed
him,
her and was like,
I would
yeah.
love to get you to do another round. Like, just something like, hey, this is Joey Fatone, and I'm still listening to Needless to Say. How
be
great would that have
great.
been,
Oh, my
right?
God.
That would have
Yep.
kind of put the cap on, would have left the man alone.
Yeah.
And maybe if I had paid $40 for his autograph, he would have done it.
To be honest with you, I don't think
was
he
shopping
walked
for
away from
shoes.
us. He
You
was.
know?
He ended up at that booth for a long time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he spent
And
all kinds
his
of money.
his assistant was telling him we have to go.
Yeah.
So that was the kicker.
We got to meet up with Murr.
Yeah,
Probably
All
is what's
All right,
going on.
but do you know what?
You know,
Do you know what that story doesn't fix? My broken heart
Yeah. Brad was devastated.
Yeah, you know, since there were no other members of NSYNC there.
Yeah.
I was devastated for you, brother. I was actually at the booth while you guys were there.
We were waiting.
I'm like,
to get it,
please let him talk. And Brad's like, you know, with his big sad eyes, like, looking like
It wasn't that bad.
Please,
Jesus
no.
Christ.
That's how it was.
I mean,
Yeah,
the only
it
thing
was. I was there.
I was
I was there.
You were there. Yeah, I was.
it would have sucked if like Wilfred Brimley was there and I went up to him and was like, "Hey, I'm also diabetic," and he just said, "Fuck you, kid. I don't care." Said most of this country's
Threw a fucking
diabetic.
gummy bear in your mouth and shoved you in a corner.
Injected me through a fucking Fun Dip.
Go eat some fucking eat some oats.
Quaker Oats would have cured that prick.
Go eat some oats, kid.
So that was that. But you know what? The one thing I didn't have was an awkward moment peeing next to Joey Fatone. Craig, can you say the same thing about one of yours?
No, I can't.
That's right. Forgot about that.
So there I was at the urinal.
So many great books have opened
yeah.
up with that. You know, it's unbelievable. So many great
So there I
fucking
was.
books.
It was morning.
There was the
Dude,
bar
still
hadn't
open.
opened.
The bar hadn't opened yet.
But I'm standing at the urinal.
Isn't this how Dean Koontz opened up everything? That fucking sea-level Stephen King prick.
And it was
Like
bad.
9 books a year.
All I could think was he had to have gone bad because I'm sure they have their own bathroom. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
definitely.
They definitely do. But he just can't. But I was at the one right by our entrance and
yeah.
exit. So he must have came in and was like, "Hey, I got
You know
to
what
piss,
the thing
man."
is, Craig, is he was probably like at that elevator where we fucking saw
Yeah.
that guy, and the bathroom was right there. It was perfect. You know?
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
I'm in there, and all of a sudden, you know, and this was pretty good. It was thank God I had drank a couple of beers because I would have just been silent. But
Beers are what got you there.
yeah, exactly. So
Probably what got him there too.
So at this point, so I'm standing there, and this guy walks on the side of me, and I just like out of the corner of my eye look, and I'm like, "Holy fuck!" It's MacGyver. it's Richard Dean Anderson, and he's on the side of me.
You got a piece
And-
of gum and paper clip.
And I'm like, yeah. So I'm standing there, and it just came out. I'm like, well, this is a story to tell. I'm like, it's not every day you pee on the side of a childhood icon. And he goes, no, it's not. I guess. It's like, no, I guess it's not.
Should have known something was up when he pulled his fly down with a paper clip.
Yeah. His fly went down. Both his hands were in the air.
Check this out.
But, so it was just so funny. So I said that, and he was like, yeah, no, I guess it's not. And
I think you should do that every time you're in the men's room now. So
Yeah.
this is weird.
yeah.
Not every day I piss
I
next to a
just-
childhood
don't
icon.
get me wrong. The whole time I said it, I kept code. My head was straight down, like I was not looking. And I immediately just turned around and walked. I didn't say anything else to him. Washed my hands, walked out. There was a security guard with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I washed my hands. I walked right out. And then immediately stormed towards the booth. Like, these guys, I just beat near MacGyver.
You didn't even wash your hands, did you?
Huh? No, of course I did. That place is disgusting.
I would have.
Oh my god, the smell! That fucking place. It just smelled like
The bathroom is gross.
somebody died taking a shit and was done taking a shit and was dead for like 6 days.
And then somebody shit on top of him.
yes,
But then I had it.
It was the worst.
I kind of had another run in like that where I made someone laugh while they were drinking out of a bubbler, and then realized it
yeah.
was a fucking and realized it was a television star.
Nice.
Because I walked out of the back again through I walked through the security area. I go out the back to go out the door to have a cigarette, and they have a water fountain out there.
Thank you for calling it that.
have-
Bubbler's a stupid
Yeah,
fucking
it is
term.
a dumb word.
So there's a water fountain.
But
So there's a girl leaning over the water fountain and another girl holding her hair, and she's drinking. So as I walked by, I said, wow, I've seen that before, but never at a water fountain. and the girl drinking at the water fountain just like stops and starts laughing. She's like, oh my God, like, oh, and she laughs. She's like, that's so funny. And she said it in this British accent, and I look right at her, and I'm like, oh my God, that's the girl from Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Heritage, her last name is.
I think it's Henridge.
Hendridge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful woman. She's gorgeous. But but it was just so funny. I made her laugh, and then later on in the day, I went upstairs and I saw her, and she remembered me. And I asked her to do a bump for the show, and she said yes.
But her handle
And
said,
then immediately, her it was like, you can't. She was like, no, you can't. Contract.
Well, yeah.
And then she looked at me and she said, I'm sorry. And then right away, I was like, no, I got it. I was like, no problem. I said, thank you for even considering it.
Yeah.
Really, because even right away, she was like, oh, I'm sorry. I said, no, don't be sorry. That's a big ask. And that's it.
We're acting like consummate pros.
Yeah.
We walked around there like we own the fucking joint. And you were like, nah, I don't need your...
well, fucking, we respected.
Shove that up Disney's ass.
The fucking, we had a great time and we had no fucking, bullshit because we respected everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
From the guy fucking, that poor bastard cleaning the fucking toilets in the bathroom.
Yeah.
To the bartender.
Well,
to the
I don't want to
stars
get on
outside.
a bathroom discussion, but we probably should clarify what we were talking about. The stench that came out of that men's room.
God,
it was
like
horrendous.
Being at a ghetto beach in August. It smelled like it was perpetual low tide in there. And I realized what it was. If you take a bunch of people in costume in a crowded room, the smell's already going to be bad just based on BO and questionable
cheese.
Bathing habits.
Yeah, cheese. There's like different.
Then you see what they eat.
Yeah.
And I'm talking
More
about them
cheese.
like they're a species different than ours. But in many ways they are.
Well, we're close, but they are different species.
The amount of tater tots that were consumed over the course of this weekend.
Oh, my God. Tater tots, chicken nuggets.
Oh, my God. I'm
Everything
starving.
brown and fried was there. And then they had that unlimited soda thing where you buy like a $12 mug, a Stein, if you will.
12.
Yeah.
Those things were like 35
No,
bucks.
they're like
man.
$30.
All right, but then everybody felt the need to get their money's worth. So
Exactly.
you give kids enough fucking Mountain Dew, they're going to shit thunder.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. It's the only venue I've ever been to where there was no line at a urinal, but lines at every shitter.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because everybody had fucking diarrhea from the way they eat.
Yeah.
Constantly.
No, it was horrible. We saw that kid. That kid walked by with 2 sodas in his hand.
Yeah.
And it was 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I was like, it's 9 in the morning.
You're fueling
That
up.
kid's drinking Mountain Dew.
Now,
If the
listen,
bar was open at 9
don't
in the
get to
morning,
say shit.
we'd have beers.
Because
in
again,
hand.
Candy Boy, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, no shit.
You're just an older version of them. You've just toned down a bit. Maybe you're not pounding Mountain Dew at 9 a.m., but you know what? By lunchtime, you've like 6 Snickers into your day. So whatever.
Kit Kats, the fucking
Again,
fill the
I'll
void.
say it. Fuck you all. When you guys get diabetes, I am going to stand up and cheer. It is going to be like a rousing applause when you get diabetes.
No,
I'm going to laugh
dude,
and you already have
Brad,
it, so shut up.
No, fuck you, man. No, I quit. I quit candy.
But you
Just
know
for
what?
you.
We're
Just for you, brother.
we're getting
I
on, but
did.
we had some highlights. So I think it's about time maybe we put some light on some of these people that we recorded.
Is that how we're closing out day 3? I hope you all get diabetes.
Yeah, that's how it pretty much
I
went.
pissed on MacGyver.
That's pretty much how it went.
And then Brad hopes everybody's got diabetes. Comic-Con 2018, that's a wrap, folks. No, we had some highlights, Craig. I'm sorry, man.
Nah, we got
we got some cool interviews.
what?
We got some cool interviews.
No, we got some stuff, but we got the people that came to our table. That was why we were
That was
there.
the best part about it.
That was the highlight of the week.
That was the highlight of the week. And I mean, we had people doing beatbox, doing Chewbacca growls, and doing the Yo Mama jokes that were all fucking horrible.
Yeah. Honestly.
Honestly.
When you're on a computer 90 hours a day, learn some new jokes.
Yeah.
Learn some new Yo Mama
Because
jokes.
we heard, that's why even the Yo Mama jokes, we didn't have a lot of people land on that. There was only a handful. It was like 5 or 6, I think.
Yeah, and we heard 5 or 6 of the same
Of the
jokes.
same-
Yeah, there was
There's a
2
couple
that
of
were
good
different.
ones, yeah.
3 of them were the same, exactly the same.
And
One was really
very
different.
One was very different.
We all know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And we're going to get into that. So why don't we do those first?
Yeah, let's do that.
So here's the Yo Mama jokes from Rhode Island Comic Con 2018.
And if they sound the same, we warned you.
I only know one Yo Mama joke, and it is, your mama's so dumb that she studied for a blood test.
Your mama's so fat, she sat on a rainbow and a Skittle popped out. Your mama's so fat, that we asked the immortal dragon to make her skinny, and he said, "That is beyond my power."
Your mom is so fat, when she stepped outside, she got arrested for mooning.
Yo, your mama is so heavenly that when she gets to heaven, they need to reserve space for her.
All right.
I think the beatboxing was a little better.
The beatboxing was better.
All right,
we had definitely,
it wasn't good.
We definitely
No.
had a couple of surprises in there. That's for
We'll
sure.
build to that. Okay,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
the
Definitely.
first ones we heard were typical. You know, basically, if a skinny white kid shows up in a Spider-Man costume, and you're expecting to drop some fat beat, you know, like seriously, like just it's this sick mic dropping moment where just the room just starts crushing. No, that's not going to happen.
No, but you will get spit on the microphone. No,
No.
we noticed that.
We just burned that shit. The beatboxing was a little bit better though, and except for the end one, which was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it was.
And I've never been prouder to be a T-Mobile customer.
Yep.
So, Craig, why don't you drop those sick beats right now?
All right.
I don't know about you, but I feel like dropping some acid right now. Right now.
We're at a rave right now.
Okay, hold on. Breakdown.
Nice. Good deal, bro.
There we go. There we go.
As my grandmother would say, oh shit.
Darren, get it closer. Do it. Hit it again. We want to hear it. Yeah, he's doing it.
Hell yeah.
T-Mobile.
He's on point. He wins.
Yeah.
Give him 10.
You're good.
There you go, man. He's good.
He's still going. He's just spitting now.
Nice.
Do we even play the Chewbacca growls? I'm not sure I want to.
It was
You know what we
embarrassing.
should do?
As
We got to play the Chewbacca growls. Come on, man. Let's just
as
do it
a-
as one growl.
as
back
a
to back.
Comic-Con, that's what I'm going to do. We're not introducing anybody because I don't want to embarrass them because they're disgusting Chewbacca growls. What I'm going to do is I'm going to compile all of the Chewbacca growls into one Chewbacca growl and play it.
Yes.
I like that.
Good idea.
I think we had one or two good ones. We had one that's not going to get played based on what I said on the
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
But overall, no. Honestly, Comic-Con.
The
This
best.
is all you do.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to compile them all except for one. And we're gonna let that one on its own because it was the best one we got, and it was done by a 7-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was fucking awesome. It was
And that's-
incredible.
So that's
man.
it. She's gonna get her own.
She should win the prize because the people that won the prizes still haven't gotten back.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah, that's another thing we got to do. You guys get back to us because by the next episode, those prizes are
prizes
going
going
out
to the next
other people.
the next people. We'll draw
I will
again.
be.
We still have.
Fuck that. I will be eating Darth Vader waffles.
No, we still have the jar. We still have the raffle tickets. And we'll just draw again, and that's it.
All right.
Because-
So let's hear some Chewbacca growls.
I almost puked on the microphone.
Now, if only that was the best Star Wars moment
right
of the day.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It wasn't. No, R2 came later.
Yeah.
Mike just yelled that from the bathroom.
Yeah.
But we actually had a guy who we weren't sure what to think of Al when he showed up. Because
Yes.
he came to us dressed like a Jedi. And we said, "Hey, what's your name, man?" And he goes, "My Jedi name or my real name?" And I said, "I'm going to leave now.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't want to be here because he's large and scary."
Yep.
But we ended up giving him the benefit of the doubt, and he made it worth our while. And I will say this: I will never look at intergalactic race relations the same way again.
Never. This was the best.
And also, if you ever out in a galaxy far, far away and you stumble across a Popeye's chicken, now you know why.
Now you know why.
Where should I start?
What's the biggest racist thing about Star Wars?
Okay, well, let's see. The most racist thing about Star Wars is, so you know that most of the characters, or most of the black characters from Star Wars, come from one fucking planet.
No, I didn't know that.
Did you know that?
No.
It's in the books. It
is in the books.
It's in the books.
It is in the books.
It's in the books. So, Mace Windu, and pretty much like all black people from Star Wars come from one planet. They're called Koronai.
Yep.
Yeah, read that shit up.
I've heard
And guess what? They got executed. Ain't that some history shit? It's kind of like real history, don't it? Wonder why Mace Windu became a Jedi. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was a slave first.
Yeah.
George Lucas just wrote history. That's all he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't too far from the galaxy. It was just real life. Okay,
Right.
Thank you, George Lucas.
Let me
Thank
get a
you.
picture, all right?
Thank you, motherfucker. Thank you. You're right. And then what kills me is the chicken. Yeah, porgs.
That was ridiculous.
Porgs are fried chicken. I don't care what anybody says. Out of the whole galaxy far, far away, you trying to tell me now they want to have fried chicken?
Yeah, you're kidding, right? How many episodes did it take them to,
Right.
Why couldn't they do that back?
And Chewie's sitting, and what kills me, Chewie's sitting there, about to eat this shit like it's some delicious fried chicken. And he's gonna look and the little thing gonna look there. You gonna eat my mama?
Yeah, no
my
kidding.
dad?
Yeah.
I would look at him like, yeah. I'm delicious.
And you're gonna be dinner.
I'm gonna eat you too, little man. Like, porgs, man. I was like, so everybody like fried chicken now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So does everybody like fried chicken when the Popeyes lady pop out? You know what I'm saying? You don't love my fried chicken. You don't love my porgs.
You love my
You have my porgs lately?
Have you tried my
Some honey barbecue porgs?
deep Louisiana spicy pork?
Yeah. You gonna love my porgs. You have any taste of my porgs? I'm waiting for her to pop out in a movie.
Dude,
like,
that
so
is
if I
funny.
see any black character in Star Wars eat a pork, I'm gonna be like, I'm done. Done. But make it bad. They had Chewie do it, right?
Yeah.
They had Chewie do it because if they had any
Yeah, if it was
if
like
they had Lando eating some porks, and if they ever do another solo movie,
Yeah.
and Lando's in there eating some porks, I'm like, I'm fucking done.
I'm all done with Star Wars.
So what you gonna do? Childish Gambino? or I'm sorry, his name Donald Glover. What you gonna do right now?
Childish Gambino.
You gonna cook this pork and you gonna eat this shit. That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, you gonna eat pork. Why does it look like chicken? It's a pork. It's not chicken. It's a pork.
Yeah.
That was absolutely.
I am so happy.
You are.
What's your name again?
You are the first guy.
Al.
You are officially the first guy to record at Comic-Con for Needless to
you
Say,
are.
Yes.
and we want to thank. We can't thank
We
you
want to
enough,
thank you
man.
very
I am
much.
freaking-
So now I look at Star Wars in a whole new light now.
Yeah.
There was racism in the galaxy far, far away.
Yeah,
Man, I didn't realize
it
it.
transcends boundaries.
Yeah. No, he was fucking great, man. We had a lot of
Fucking
fun with
awesome,
him because
man.
it went on after too. Yeah, he was funny as hell. But then there was
Wicked funny.
the funny thing was, we started seeing these costumes. Second day was the costumes were insane.
Yeah.
And we had this one person that came by, and it just stuck out to me because it was exact. There was no differentiating from the television show to what this costume was, except for scale. And it was this woman dressed as a Fraggle.
Oh my God, yeah, that's right.
And it
She
was
awesome.
spot on.
Well, yeah, in terms of a life-size Fraggle,
Yes.
this woman nailed it. And we had no idea what this woman looked like.
Yeah, no, we didn't.
She could have been 90.
Yep.
I wouldn't have known any better. Probably couldn't have held up that giant
I see her.
head.
She was walking around with the thing after.
But I mean, I said coming into this, I'm going to make fun of people for wearing these costumes. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, that's exactly
here it
what
is.
happened.
But yeah, we will give you 10 free tickets. No nonsense, no wheel spinning, no
If
nothing.
You sing the Fraggle
Sing
Rock
the Fraggle
song
Rock
with
theme
this
song for us.
microphone.
I don't know it. Okay, I'd like to remind you of something. The way you're wearing a giant Fraggle costume, singing the theme song will be the least ridiculous part of your day.
She's just singing it. She was walking That's great.
See, yeah, there we go. Yep.
Dance your cares away. Worries for another day. Let the music play.
Yeah.
Work your cares away. Plays for another day. Let the Fraggles play. Down to Fraggle Rock.
Awesome.
Sweet.
All right.
Fraggle Rock.
She's still going. She's still going. 12 tickets. 12 tickets.
I got to hand it to her. She did a good job.
Yeah.
She was a good sport.
She was. She was.
I mean, her husband was there staring me down, and I'm like, "Are you actually going to try to look tough with?"
He
her?
was dressed as a doozer.
Yeah, he had doozes on his shoulder.
Yeah.
He was cool though. I mean, they were.
I
really
guarantee
cool.
you, she had doozers up inside of her later that night. She stripped down to
Maybe
everything
he
but that
did. Who
giant
knows?
head.
Yeah.
But nah, she was a good sport. It was cool. I'm sorry I made the fuck joke, but whatever. We didn't get
That's
her.
us.
Yeah,
we haven't done that tonight.
No, we have
Sorry, it had to be you.
Fuck shit, fuck,
Fraggles.
Yeah.
Fucking Fraggles.
But you know, one thing we talked about week in and week out, every time we promoted this, and it was on the end of every episode. And we thank you all for sticking with us, despite the fact that we repeated the same script about Comic-Con for the last 8 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know, Craig is a comic book junkie. Mike to a certain extent, but really Craig. Craig is the collector.
definitely.
He's the enthusiast. And
I am.
He's been saying to me on and off the air for months, I just got to get up and down Artist Alley. Because he wants to meet the guys behind the comic books he
Yes.
loves so much. And there were some really big names as far as I know.
Yes.
And that was cool. Craig, did you really get to Artist Alley? No, you didn't.
For a minute.
Yeah.
And then I decided.
Well, you had to. Craig kind of had to avoid Artist Alley, and let's preface the story. It's day one, so we weren't even reaching that third day level of cockiness yet. This was day one.
No, it was.
What we did was we reached a normal Friday night's level of alcohol.
Yeah.
And yes, we did.
We're in a parking garage.
My
and-
filter was off.
Oh, your filter. If that's all that was off.
Yeah, there was a lot more than
We're
that.
in a parking garage. Nerds are leaving by droves. We're all heading to our cars. We left fairly quickly. We got out. And we're on a crowded elevator with children and women and people who don't want to hear a whole lot. Craig is making jokes at every stop. And this was not the express elevator. We caught the local. And every stop on the way down. So we're getting to, I guess, level 4.
Yeah.
And this giant man, this mountain of a man.
He was huge.
And I think we talked about it in some of the audio, but yeah, whatever. We're going to do it again. Craig decided that this large black man wasn't getting on this elevator.
I love the way you
There
say
was no
decided.
fucking way, man.
Well, there was no room.
No.
Okay, for any of them. But Craig just looked at this large black man and the 5 white posse members that he had with him and leaned in and said, no, they can get on, but you can't. Now, Craig was clearly making a fat joke, which is a weird enough thing to do to somebody
hope-
you literally just met as the doors open.
Did we mention that this big giant man was African American?
I did call him a
Yes.
black man
Okay.
6 times. Thank you, Mike.
Okay. All right.
But anyway, so this guy is looking at Craig going, what do you mean you can't get on, but they can? He's surrounded like they're like his moons.
Yeah.
Okay? He's got 5 white moons around him. And this guy's got his own, weather system, and he's just hanging out there, this large black guy, and Craig goes, you can't get on.
There was no way he was getting on that.
All right, but have you paid attention to any news outlet in the last 2 years? This might not be the best culture for separating.
No, yeah, no, I
They
didn't-
can get on,
That
but
was
you
not
can't.
my intention whatsoever.
Yeah, well, again, I've seen people beaten up for lesser bad intentions or good intentions.
But that was not what I was getting at. He was gigantic.
Yeah, but the best part of the moment wasn't that Craig basically made a giant racist Trump thing. It's when he extended his hand and said, "Hey, man, I'm just fucking around." And this guy is saying, "No.
Flip me off."
No, he didn't flip you off. He screamed into a elevator full of children and women, "Fuck you, man!"
And I laughed as the door shut.
Oh, he had his fucking finger extended, and Craig was laughing at his ass. Both at the same exact time as the door closed. It was like a fucking movie.
You lighten the moment for everybody in the elevator that was thankful that there wasn't going to be a beating.
You totally lightened the moment for the elevator.
The guy would have
anyway.
murdered me.
He would have breathed on you, and it would have been over.
Yeah, but
horrible.
you could have ran like fucking like Brad said. Fucking,
I was in an elevator.
Ran 20
I wasn't
steps.
running
He would have been
Would've
like
out of there.
fucking Michael Myers. You could have run, and he would have just walked at a deliberate pace and still caught you. But you're probably wondering, why did I mention Artist Alley and then bring this guy up? Had this guy just been a guest, like somebody coming
An
to the
attendee.
show, an attendee of the show on a one-day pass, this would have all been forgivable. No,
Oh, yeah.
Craig had to duck the fuck out of the way because our booth looked directly into Artist Alley, and if you craned your neck just right, you saw this guy, comic book artist, large black man.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was a fucking comic
If you
book
really
artist.
wanted to make eye contact from our booth to his in a giant convention center, oh, the irony.
Yeah.
So Craig all weekend kept hanging out in the corner of our booth that was ducked in the corner, and he kept using the guise of, well, I'm going to stay on the laptop because just in case we have to record it any moment. And what he was really doing was basically
Avoiding
hiding in plain
being murdered.
sight.
I feel bad for him though, man. You know, he goes there for that shit. You know, the Artist Alley and
I was gonna go over and apologize.
Oh,
and
that
then it
would
was
have been
advised
bad.
not to.
No, I think it would have been a good idea. It would have been fun for us.
And
to watch
He would have
anyway.
slapped you with his ankle fat. That guy sounded like maracas walking down the hall.
Oh my god, it was so bad. It was so bad. I couldn't help it. My filter was gone at that point.
Oh, you were
And the
fucking wrecked.
door opened, and that's what you didn't start with. As soon as the door opened, he goes, "Oh, come on, man!" The elevator was full, and I was like, "Well, you ain't getting in here." I'm like, They will.
Well, you ever go to Target and then instead of using a cart, carry 450 pounds of shit on your back? Because that's what he was doing.
Yeah.
Each and every day of his life. So when an elevator finally arrives in a parking garage on a rainy night, after all day of pretending to like people, you kind of want to just get on that fucking elevator. First of all, he wasn't getting on our elevator if half of us were in there.
I know.
Because there is a stated weight limit, and
I
he
just had to
exceeded
point
it.
it out.
He was big.
I nearly called him Kamala. Okay,
He was big.
but this guy was unfucking believable. He was a dick. You were a bigger dick.
Yeah,
and you
I
were,
was.
and
I
you-
apologize.
You know what? That's cool, but
Craig,
the
don't
racism
apologize
stands.
for being yourself.
The
bro.
racism stands. It had nothing to do with
had nothing
that.
to do with race.
And no,
It had everything to do with size.
In my head, I will always see it as a racist.
Yeah. Brad, right away, Brad was like, "Jesus Christ!"
I didn't even think of that. I didn't even think that.
What have I told you from day one? Perception is reality.
Yeah.
The perception there was, hey, you, and you can get on, but not you, Cochise. Not you, big man. No, you can't get on, you large. I mean, this look like a giant black thumb.
I guess I understood it. I think giant black thumb.
When
good artist.
When your neck is
understood it.
wider than the circumference of the top of your head,
right?
Consider growing hair.
That wasn't his neck.
Yeah.
That was his tits.
Oh,
Fucking,
my
they were all
God.
pushed up onto
But
his
yeah,
fucking shoulders.
all right, enough of that embarrassing moment.
Yeah.
You can actually ding, 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 ding. Those are the listeners dropping off.
Yeah.
I thought Craig was the good one.
Right? What the hell, man? I cracked a joke at the
Comic-Con fucked
just
it
not
all for you.
There's a place and a time I hit neither one of those targets.
When
That
you're
being
drunk
said,
and on an elevator,
when
it's
are you
not the
making
time.
your stand-up debut? Since you showed us what your timing is like. Know your audience.
Yeah.
Know your audience.
He's got he fucking knew his audience and his timing was perfect. I'll tell you that. Because I was in that crowd and it was fucking great. I would have paid to see it again.
Shouldn't you be crying because Jeff Sessions got fired?
Yeah. Jeff Sessions.
Anyway, we did get some good
him.
interviews. We
Thank God
tried to
he's
make
gone.
up for it emotionally and morally.
Yeah.
And we had a
did.
very good interview with Vortex Man.
Vortex Man.
And the creator of Vortex Man.
That was awesome. Great time.
Yeah, we met with the creator of a great comic book called Vortex Man, and the creator's name is Isaac Schwecke. It's got a great message to it. It really does.
It is.
It's got a great message. The artwork is great.
Yeah,
The
it's old
charac-
school.
And it's a fun
old,
read.
and
It's fun.
Even I could say that.
Yeah,
Like,
no. and
from
you-
my childhood, I remember.
I called it out right away like that, and like right away when I looked at it, I thought the same thing. That's why I liked it.
It does have the old
because if
school look to
Mike
it.
knows, I like a lot of the older stuff
Yeah.
more than anything. I mean, I love the new stuff; is incredible, but I liked the older stuff. There was something about it.
Yeah.
And Brad right away said, "Wow, this is kind of like old school art." And
Yep.
right away I was like, "Yeah," and it's fucking awesome. I love it. And the story is good. The character development is good.
Well, what's the premise?
But
I mean,
the
Vortex
premise-
Man is an eco-friendly superhero.
Eco-friendly superhero.
And I think we're not doing it justice, but basically
No.
the idea is this character was born of trash.
But there's more of it's not just him. It's like a team of them, and then a team of villains, and they did a great job with the way they did that stuff. And I'm gonna let Isaac explain it.
I think that's a good call. And it was a
Perfect.
great interview. We want to thank Isaac.
Yeah.
Thank you
for
so
doing
much,
this.
bro.
All right, so we're here with Isaac Schwecke. It's day 3, Rhode Island Comic Con.
And we're just now getting to comic book artists.
Yes, yeah, right.
Because we're that good.
And Isaac is the creator of Vortex Man, which
Yes.
is actually it's really cool. I like the fact that it's tackling an issue that is a huge problem, is waste, and putting a message on, recycling, stuff like that. But what made you decide to say, you know what, let me write a book about this?
Greg, that's thanks for having us today. I really appreciate that.
Absolutely, of course.
We're trying to get our awareness out there. It took place 4 years ago. It was up in Situate in Humrock Beach. I have a house up there with my wife, and we're walking the beach after a storm, and there was a tube of toothpaste, and it had AIM toothpaste. And I'm a little bit background about me. I'm in the consumer product world, health and beauty aids, so forth like that.
Yeah,
My company's in the recycling business, so we put together carbon footprints for companies. So there I'm walking the beach, and I see a tube of toothpaste AIM, and all of a sudden there's little nibble bites all around it, and I turn on the back, and it says Cheeseboro Ponds. Well, Cheeseboro Ponds hasn't been in business for over 20 years. Wow. That's a problem. And I said, holy mackerels, this has been floating out there, hon, for 20 years. And I always loved the entertainment business. I have relatives, family in the entertainment business. But what really impacted me was the environment, because we cannot sustain the way we're going. We've become a disposable society. I actually spoke today on the DEP, not today, 2 weeks ago at the DEP in Connecticut, what we need to do, and it has to be pushing back at the manufacturers. So in the meantime, what we've done is becoming a disposable society. Every one of our characters are attached to a product. So for instance, we have the Origamist. Right now we're almost done with Kern Filterberg. He's made out of cigarette butts. We've got General D straw made out of the drinking straw. So that's what really inspired me to do this, is just listen guys, let's make an awareness to everything we do, everything we touch, and let's attach a character to it so we think twice before we buy our new cell phone. Everyone wants the newest iPhone. I don't even know what number we're at anymore, and we cover exabyte, which represents e-waste, and so it talks about that. So that's how we got into it.
Yeah, and I mean that's great, because I mean someone like me, like the ocean thing, when you said that, to me resonates, because I used to be an aquarium hobbyist.
Oh wow.
Reef aquarium, stuff like that, and I really got into the reef, and everything I did was cultured stuff. I never purchased anything that was taken from the environment. You know what I mean? And I always kind of felt like I was saving something. You know what I mean? Because it's horrible, and you can see what's going on in the world with the
You didn't need
reefs.
it. You didn't need that coral.
No.
There's no need to take that from the environment.
No,
unless you need to live off of it, and if not, leave it there.
And
you know?
if not, leave it there. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and I kind of got away from it because I felt that that industry was doing that. There was too many people doing that, and as much as I loved it, it's hurting the environment.
Right.
You know, and then to see, you know, that Vortex Man comes out of the Pacific
Patch,
you know, the patch, and that's unbelievable. The fact that there's something in the ocean that big floating around out there that's just trash.
It's roughly the size of New York City.
Yeah, actually, it's you can fit all the garbage in Texas 2 times. That's how bad it is. And by the year 2050, for every 1 ton of fish, you're going to have 2 ton of plastic. So basically, the plastic's going to outweigh the fish.
Wow.
Yeah, it's bad.
That's
and you know, you talk about, Greg, not to drug you, but you talk about the whole reef. We actually have 3 characters that we developed this year with everything that's happening with the attacks of the reef.
Yeah.
We got Spora, and she is basically the algae that is destroying the whole corals and so forth, which has been affected by the Vortex Man serum that's sitting in that whole Pacific patch. We've got a character with the microbeads. People don't realize when they use their body wash, sometimes it has the beads. Well, those beads end up in the ocean. So we have a character for that. So again, we are really attaching every item that we're using, every aspect, to again bring awareness. I mean, we're becoming overpopulated, but we want more and more. Well, let's think twice.
Let's think twice about it. And there's ways around making everything out of plastic.
Yeah.
You know, and doing all this stuff. So it's a great message. The art is fantastic.
Yep.
You know, the story is, you know, I was reading through it. I'm liking it already.
Yep.
So I'm definitely going to ask you to sign these before you
walk.
walk.
Absolutely. and you know, Greg, the artists, we actually have been very blessed. I'd like to say thank you so much to Aiken and Garvey. I don't know if you're familiar with Aiken and Garvey. They inked for Iron Man. They worked for Vision Comics. They did some work with Transformers. So they're very old school. So as you look at our whole like background, it's kind of like the 50s type of look, and so
it does have an old school vibe.
Yeah,
and I haven't read comic books in years, which is probably a cardinal sin to say that at Comic-Con.
Yeah,
but I really haven't been into them in years, and I immediately went back to that old school aesthetic, and I do like that about it.
Yeah.
But actually, that kind of leads into my question.
Yeah.
You know, you're at a Comic-Con right now where most of the comics that are considered the best, the heroes, are the ones that are bigger, better, and more destructive.
Mm-hmm.
What has the response been to a character that's about saving and not destroying?
Well, that's a really great question. You know, we are destroying. We're destroying our environment.
Well, I meant the character.
So with the characters come in, the characters are bringing that awareness of let's not destroy.
Right.
So again, we do have our villains, you know, that Waste, who loves to spread garbage. We've got Miss Gum as another example. When people don't realize when you throw your gum out, you know, oh, I'm going to a meeting, let me throw my gum out by the bushes. Well, it goes down the drain. So again, the awareness and the way the superheroes are set up, we have our good villains, our good guys who fight the bad guys, which are the people that are most of the products that cannot be recycled.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So how has the response been from people here, though?
Oh, they love it.
Okay,
people
great.
are just like, they can't believe it. We went indie. We have not went with any distributors yet. We just kind of putting stuff on Amazon for the last couple of years, and we've been to Boston Comic-Con, won an award in 2016 in Boston Comic-Con. So which was nice. So we're just kind of doing it slowly. We sold out in Israel, believe it or not.
Wow.
We have the Fukushima Dynamo coming out next year. It's going to be an epic story. There's 8 new characters being introduced. Again, General D. Straw will be there. Admiral Met Netting, who's made out of all the fishing nets that are tangled in the ocean. Yeah. We got Styro for all the styrofoam that's in the ocean. We've got it's just a whole slew of people that are going to be in there. New characters that we're introducing, good and bad. And it's going to be in manga, and it's going to be in Japanese, and it's going to be in English as well.
Very cool.
Yeah,
that's
so
really
getting that awareness out there. So.
Well, that actually answered my next question.
Yeah.
What's next? Are we looking into maybe animation? Are we looking into items
like
that?
We got good news this week. We are signing with a new mobile company that is a whole new startup mobile app, and what they want to do is they want to take all of our characters and attach it to the products that we are eating and using on a day-to-day basis.
Wow.
So that's going to be great. So you're going to be able to go to a store and you can go shopping and it'll pinpoint you where in the store there's Agro who spreads GMOs. She was captured by, I can't say it on the air who that company is, but spreads GMOs. And then you got Billy Mack that was affected by GMOs. So when you go down the aisle and you're looking for a GMO product, Billy Mack will pop up. Then it could be a cost savings. Then you can have body armor that can go for that. So if you're looking, obviously, if something is non-GMO, that's where Agro will come up. If you're looking for glass products, Glass Ghost will come up. Origamis for paper. So
I actually
really
took the app to the snack bar here at the vet, and it blew up.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Right. So, and it's a cradle to grave, so it's going to it will end up happening is whatever product you buy from the UPC list, what's on your receipt, well then when you're done with it, it'll ping you and say, when you're done, you can go to the app, I'm done with it, ping it, it'll tell you what to do with that product in that area, if it's a 1 through 7 to recycle, or it can be composted, whatever, and then if you decide to do that, say yes, you click it, and maybe that manufacturer will give back rebates, or whoever the participating person that will be within that mobile
really
application.
cool.
So it's really unique.
It's a great idea. Especially in this culture has actually come up so much too. Before it was, everybody was quiet. Everybody was into comic books. It was very quiet and tucked away and did it. But now it's so mainstream. It's become so mainstream
And very vocal.
And vocal that now this is where it works.
This is where it's at, Craig, because I'm just tired of the spin-offs of the new Spider-Man that looks this way, the new Batman that looks this way. Well, you know what? Here's something that's totally different. I had a little kid come up to me yesterday. He's like, "What universe he's from? Where's Vortex Man from?" And I'm like, "He's from the planet we live in, Earth, and we are destroying Earth. So when you go out with your parents tonight and you go out to eat, think twice when you want a straw. You don't need to have a straw." Well, why is that? Because do you know that we waste 500 million straws on a day-to-day basis? That's a problem. Let's start with the children, and that's what this whole message is starting with the children. That's why we're indie, and we've been offered some dollars for this whole concept and everything, and I turned it down because 10% of our dead net proceeds will go to Connecticut Children's Medical Center. We teamed up with them. This will be the last year with them, and then maybe next year we'll go to Boston. So that's the whole thing, is that as this thing starts growing, becomes into movies, 10% of the dead net proceeds will go to kids with cancer, cleaning up the environment, and to the families. Because I always said, look at something like Deadpool. It cost $78 million on the first movie to make, and then how many billions? Pay your taxes, you're at $600 million, right? Yeah. Take 10% of that $600 million, you're at $60 million. Do you know how many families you can help out? Somebody that needs to be at the hospital, both parents need to be at the hospital to give that child positive energy. Well, they can't because they have to work, or they might lose their job because they took too many days off. So Vortex Man, every time you're going to go to a movie, every time you're going to buy something, you're going to know that you're investing in the future of a child, of making your planet green and making it healthy for the next generation. And that's where Vortex Man is from. Yeah.
And just hearing you talk, and like I said, I've got the book. I started to flip through it before you came here, and I'm like, I'm a fan.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. I really, really do.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
And I have to be candid with you. He wouldn't blow sunshine up, at you.
No.
He's the kind of guy he's very much a comic book fan, and the one thing he commented on that really resonated with me is that you don't preach.
No.
You tell a story,
Right.
you explain how it is.
Right.
Okay, and the drama happens on its own because it's real.
Right.
And there's a gravitas to what we're doing.
Yeah.
And that story should resonate with your target audience, young to old.
Right.
But Craig would have told me, he would have pulled me aside and said, that story's completely preachy. It sounds like they're hitting me over the head with it. And he's just reading the comic book.
I love direct criticism.
Yeah.
A problem can't be solved unless it's addressed, right? Yeah. So tell me, if you don't like it, I'd love to hear your feedback.
Right.
Why don't you like it? Yeah.
I can fix it.
Right.
So I can fix something.
Exactly.
So I can do things. That's why, and like I said, I really don't hold stuff back too much.
Awesome.
I'm not.
I like it, Greg. I like it, man. But hey.
Well, no, skip
like
episode 58.
Yeah. But you got a new fan. I
Thanks,
really
man.
enjoyed it. And one thing I wanted to say is you brought Vortex Man.
Yeah,
with you.
Vortex Man.
So let's have him
He's
lean in a
big
bit
guy.
there.
today. You know, so you're here today. How are the kids reacting to you?
They're all usually pretty happy.
Yeah.
Usually get a lot of pictures, hugs.
Yeah, that's
And
awesome.
mothers can't keep the hands
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
That's a big
he's
problem.
got-
Yeah. Please don't touch signs. You know. You know, there's a problem when the mothers are asking them to go and do birthday parties. You know.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
There's nothing here but wine and cheese. What's
I joke around. I'm like, I used to be his trainer, but after I was a hand model, so I had to train all the time. And then after I broke my hand, I couldn't train. So
I swear, I'm just here for the environment.
Yeah, that's it, man. No, but I'm glad you guys came by. Thanks for coming by and talking with us. I'll definitely be talking about this more as I read
Awesome,
into more
man.
episodes,
Awesome.
More issues and stuff like that.
Well, we'd love to when the Fukushima comes out, we'll send you guys a copy because it's going to be Earth Day 2019. So we'll send you guys a copy. We'll get you guys a big poster too to put in your background in your office or whatever. Actually, we'll be more than happy to send you a huge poster of Vortex Man, the whole origin comic, because it's pretty unique. Like, I do want to say, if you look at the Vortex Man Zero, this is actually a true picture of the Pacific Patch that our artist, by pencil drew everything. This is not anything graphics or anything. They took this whole picture and they drew this whole thing. So as you can see, the seagull over here, by the way, representing Steven Seagal, that's his name. And he sits on the shoulder of Major Campos. So we've
Tell
got
him about Steven Seagal, Craig.
Yeah.
I got an issue with Steven.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, he is bloated because he did eat a lot of plastic, but we won't go down that road, okay? Sorry, Steven, I loved you in the 80s, but
Except watching him run.
Right, yeah. He can still kick my butt, but yeah.
So where did the concept for the symbol and the costume
Well,
come
okay,
from?
so think about Vortex. Vortex is a circle, right? So it just keeps, and that's what's happening in the ocean. It becomes, we're basically like a toilet bowl.
Exactly.
And it's just going in this big circle, and
creates its own gravity.
It's looking somewhere to flush, but there is nowhere to go.
Yeah, exactly. So we actually wanted to team up with Boyne Slot. He's the gentleman that just, young gentleman from Denmark that built this big machine to clean up the ocean.
Oh, wow.
So, but he couldn't do anything at the time because the investors didn't want anyone else to, something with contracts and stuff. So we're hoping that our name is going to get out there with the whole Vortex. And we'll be like, oh, mate, that clicks,
Yeah.
And,
That's excellent.
No, it's a great message, and I mean it's awesome, and I'm excited to get into it.
Yeah, I mean,
definitely.
I will say, if Leonardo DiCaprio is listening to this,
He's
the one that should be behind this, because I don't know if you saw his movie Before the Flood there. Everything he talks about, we have a character for. Tarzan, we have one for that. We have a character for fracking. It's there. I mean, turn it to a movie.
Yeah.
Just don't forget about the children. That's it.
That's it. Yeah, you
and
hear
we're
that,
not
Leo?
selling out. We're not going to be a sellout.
Good. That's good.
I don't care how many.
A lot of people
how much
do.
money. No, I'm not there. I'm not going to do it. We had the opportunity of being sold out, and recently somebody wanted to take us to a very large
your passion
company.
for the cause is
I'm
great,
passionate.
man.
I love
awesome.
it, man. It's
great.
all about the kids. I always say, you want to solve the future of the problems, get rid of the parents.
That's
I mean, seriously,
You got that right.
get rid of the parents.
Tell
Put the
me
kids on a
about
big,
it. I know,
Vortex
right?
Man Island,
Yeah.
where they can eat green.
Yeah.
Everything's made out of recyclable material, right? They can for
great.
like hobbies, they can walk the beach for the day. Pick up the garbage.
There
Yeah,
you
it's
go.
like a totally green environment.
That's a great idea.
Yep.
Awesome. Isaac, thank you for coming.
All right, man.
Definitely.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Greg.
Good luck with
Yeah,
that.
thank you.
Big time.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Honest.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Isaac, thank you again for that, man. That was really
definitely.
awesome. I know that if you listen to this episode, we're kind of jackassing around.
Yeah.
And we also led into your segment with a giant racist thing.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, we're good guys and we're all playing around and we do support what you're doing.
Totally
I'm not
support it.
really into my kids reading too many comic books because one of the questions I asked them was, how come so many comics today are ventured on the bigger and better destruction?
Yeah.
This is a comic that's basically the same idea. It's going to destroy the things that are destroying us.
And it's actually a comic book that gives
It's real.
hope. It's hope. There is hope with this comic.
Yeah.
It sounds
No,
corny, kind of, but it's true.
There's lessons to be. I mean, there's always been from Stan Lee was big on. There's lessons to be learned in these things.
Yeah,
but Stan Lee was just a creator, and but it was lessons to be learned, and I think what Isaac is doing is putting out a comic book like, hey, there's a lesson to be learned by everybody.
Yeah, there's a lesson to be learned, but it actually shows kids that they can be part of something. It's something that they can actually do.
Yeah.
And tell
They
their
can
friends,
contribute.
tell their parents, and they can contribute to it.
They
which
can
is
contribute
huge.
to something that is, you have an enemy that's destroying the planet, and it's not just the heroes that are going to save it.
Right. It's everyone.
The kids are going to, the kids can help, and people can help do that too. So it's
I
positive.
really
It's
like the
awesome.
hope. So Vortex Man coming out on Obama Biden comics. I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
jokes.
No, thanks again. If you got a chance, it's vortexman1.com. Go check it out.
Yes.
Okay. Phenomenal website. It really explains all the characters really well. Very well done website. And if you're an adult and you got children, buy this for your kids. It's definitely worth it.
Very well done, like everything from writing to art,
Everything.
To getting the message out there.
I told him right away. I
everything.
said, you have a fan. Because he brought the books over for us to research.
Oh, yeah.
And I was
know.
like, I'm not
Like,
giving you these back.
yeah,
I'm not giving
yeah.
them back to you, and you're going to sign them?
Yeah.
I was like, you're going to sign all of these? And he happily did it, and he brought back some other stuff.
It was a
for
good
us.
egg. He took a picture. They actually had Vortex Man in costume.
Yes.
Yeah.
With us, and we took some photos, and he actually gets involved in a clip we're going to talk about in a few minutes.
Definitely.
But there was another artist there that we got to mention, and became a good friend of ours. There was the folks at Amorable Art.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that.
Yep.
Amorable Art was a booth.
They were a booth,
selling beautiful cutaway
Phenomenal.
artwork.
Rare art that like a rare concept that I've never seen done before.
It's really cool what he was doing, and he was doing it with all great stuff from pop culture. I mean, he did other stuff. There was other stuff there
something
as well.
tells me that his actual studio is filled with that same thing for everything.
Yeah, for everything.
Yeah, but I think for the Comic-Con crowd, he did the pop culture thing.
And it's excellent, and it was really cool. And then his wife started coming over and hanging out with us. We were having fun. He was working at his booth. She would come over and talk to us. And then she started just hanging out.
Oh, yeah. She was one of our
She
regulars.
freaking brought me coffee one morning, man.
she
I'm
brought
psyched. Thank you so much.
They were phenomenal. They were great, great people. And the best part was they said, you guys are doing a raffle. We'd like to donate this to your raffle. And they gave us a beautiful picture of it. It was his artwork.
It was Boba Fett.
But it was a beautiful. I want to say it's not a picture. It was it was a painting
In that style, this
In that-
cutaway
yeah,
style. I can't describe it. We're not going to do it justice.
Well, yeah, no, he uses.
You go to his website and check it out.
Amorable Art. And she'll mention it in this clip right now. This is Alexis, the 27-year-old wife of 62-year-old artist. And
Two
by the
awesome
way,
people,
by the
man.
way, to the 62-year-old artist, my hat is tipped.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
We are here with Alexis, who came over and very kindly donated an amazing art print to our raffle. For needless to say, our first time ever here at Rhode Island Comic Con. Alexis,
It's gorgeous. I mean, I want it.
well,
You don't get it.
well then spin the wheel, man. Spin the wheel. But Alexis,
worst
tell us a
part.
little bit about Amorable Art and where we can find you in and out of this Comic Con.
Here at Rhode Island Comic Con, we're in booth 473. You can also visit us online, www.amorableart.com. It is spelled AMOURABLE art, A-R-T-E, no E. No E.
No E.
No
All right,
E.
Dan Quayle, can we get this back?
Potato, potato.
No E. What's wrong with me? Anyway.
There's like 5 competitors that just popped up now.
Yeah, good one too.
My husband's an artist. He does a really cool cut and paste technique.
Yes,
he
he
actually
does.
paints
It's
first,
different.
draws on top of the dried paint, and then hand cuts it out. Then pastes it down, then splatters the artwork.
I love that. I love that technique.
It's awesome. I was like, when I first saw it, I was
such
like,
a
oh
rare
my God,
technique.
that's
I love it.
incredible. It's so
really cool
different.
because it's got a pop of color, and it's very minimalistic, so it fits with a lot of different styles in people's homes.
Yeah, it does.
The print that we have for the raffles, an 11 by 14 print.
Yes.
It's one of our $30 price points. We offer a smaller price point and a larger price point to fit everyone's budget.
Yep.
This is our first year here at Rhode Island, our first time in the state. Woohoo, I like it so far. And we do a lot of Comic Cons. We just got back from New York Comic Con. I like to think he's kind of a big deal.
Right. I mean, I have to say, it's I love it. I love it, and I'm probably going to buy something from you.
Thank you very much.
Yes. There will be
Odds
money
are pretty
exchanged.
high that I will be buying something from
Here
you.
at the con, we do a buy two, get one free anywhere in the booth. But if you can't make it by, we have a coupon code for 15% off the website. Use code RICC473.
There you go.
Outstanding. And if you want to get a hold of Amorable Art, after the con, you want to go to @Amorable Art on Instagram and on Facebook. It's facebook.com/Amorable Art. And again, AMOURABLEART. Not an E.
No E.
Not an E. Not an E.
Drop that E.
And honestly, they don't just do prints. They've got T-shirts, mugs, hoodies,
They
tanks,
got
anything you
everything,
need.
man. You guys
They're-
gotta check
we
these
made
guys
new
out.
friends
They're
here,
great.
and they're going to be lifelong friends. We thank you very much, Alexis, for coming down. And anything else you want to say to our listeners?
Go Red Sox.
Amen.
Yeah.
All right, so thanks again to
That was
everybody at
awesome.
Amorable Art. Yeah, if you expected anything less than those jokes.
Yeah, exactly.
You clearly didn't pay attention during the 3 days we hung
Yeah.
out.
Great people. Oh, man. Great people.
No,
Both-
but they were
both
great.
of them are awesome.
That said, one of the reasons we wanted to go to this show wasn't just to get fans and hand out tickets and give away shit. We wanted to promote the show to industry people.
Yeah.
People that might have been able to help us. And we were very fortunate that we ran into some podcast people and
Yeah.
some radio
we did.
people.
And some radio people.
And if you've listened to me, you know I don't like the term podcast. I've always considered this an internet radio show.
It is.
A weekly internet radio show. And so we met some people who do just that.
Yep.
And so I think our first clip should be from Rhode Island Free Radio.
DJ Psycho Eddie.
Well, with a name like that, how do we say anything else?
But let's talk
stab
a
you
little bit
twice.
about My Night Out Radio.
Okay, My Night Out Radio was actually spawned 4 years ago at Comic-Con. I had a partner, George, and he ran a website that talked about all the local events, all the local restaurants, and what have you.
Yep.
And we said, why don't we just put this on the air? We get out the information quicker.
Yep.
So once we got on the air, it's morphed. George dropped off, and I just too stupid to stop doing the show because I'm constantly. Well, I'm constantly going out to eat. I always have constantly, new information, new stuff to get out there.
Yep.
And being that I've worked with so many bands, I have a lot of local bands giving me music. I get that music out on the air. I play primarily local bands. I do throw in, if I'm lazy and I don't feel like doing a good playlist, I'll go into my national tours list and I'll throw some of their music in there. But primarily, I stick with the live and local.
That's really cool because we've done that. We've tried to do it as much as we could. It's getting to have the bands get the music to us and stuff like that because we've been trying to promote local music as well at the end of our show. For our outro, we'd like introduce a local band, play their songs. You know what I mean?
If you want to talk off the air or you want to meet up after the show, because I have about 14 to 18,000 songs.
Yeah.
Primarily local bands.
Primarily local bands. That's awesome. Yeah, that would be great because we like to do that. We like to push the local scene, get that going because it's awesome and it's a lot of fun around here. And there's a lot of good bands around here.
Oh yeah.
We've made friends with a band called Cycle.
Yes.
Well, Brad was friends with them previously.
Well, I was friends with the bass player.
With the bass player.
And he had been in a number of good bands, but this is the first truly all-original hard rock band, like in his vein.
Yep.
Yeah.
And, we've been very transparent. It might not be our genre of music, but in terms of doing it right, they've done it better than anybody.
Yeah.
And
There are some bands that
great shit.
There are some bands that are really good. They don't know how to promote themselves. They don't know how to get themselves out there.
Yeah.
So I'll contact them, say, look, guys, throw me a couple of MP3s. I will get you on the air. I will get you in a playlist rotation on my show, which is also part of RIFreeradio.org. Shameless plug there. Sorry about that.
Nothing shameless on this show, my friend.
There's nothing shameless about
But
that.
I will get them into the rotation for the RI Free Radio playlist as well, if they're actually good.
Yeah.
And then you always have the ones that are really super excited, like they're practically tripping over themselves that give you music.
Yep.
I'm leery about that.
Yeah, exactly.
it's like kind of a mathematical equation. The more excited they are, probably the worse it's going to be.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
there are exceptions, and I'll give you. There was one band that was going around Rhode Island for quite a while. Big Dirty Nelson.
Yeah.
Ty Gerard is my contact through there. Really good guy, really good musician. He was over the top. Oh, you got to get this. And knowing Ty from Big Dirty Nelson, I was willing to give it a listen, but he was, like I said, over the top excited. Oh, we got this new album. We got to give it to you.
Yeah.
And turns out it was a really good album.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
really
So it was
excited about that.
exception to the
There's
rule.
always exceptions to the
You
rule,
know.
and you roll the dice, see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. So
We just had a celebrity stumble over here, and we were so excited. We all needed to get some air.
Yeah, exactly.
So I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
I would like to think we're the exception to the rule
Yeah.
in the podcasting realm.
Yeah.
But we might not be. I don't know.
might not be.
I can tell you for a fact, I've worked with all these bands. They put their pants on one leg at a time.
Yes.
If you're familiar with the hip hop scene, Jimmy Lowry, also known as ABK, Anybody Killer, was on Psychopathic. He's bounced around between labels now. The first time I worked with him, I came in. Now I'm the sound guy. I've been doing sound on and off for 25 years as well.
Yeah.
I come in. I'm barking orders to the people that work for me, and he's like, "Well, who the hell are you?" I look right at him like, "I don't know who the hell you are, pal, but I'm doing my job. I'll get to you when I get to you."
Yeah.
That's right, bro. He pulled the "Do you know who I am" card.
Yeah.
And I pulled the "I don't give a shit" card.
Yep.
Getting back to our My Night Out Radio on rifreeradio.org, I'm played every night, 8:30 to 9:30.
Okay.
Tony Jones is my producer. He also owns the radio station. He also has his own, The Tony Jones Show. Tony, I'm getting you a few listeners too.
Yep.
He's been in the punk rock scene forever, and I actually I met him through another show, through Blazes Billiards, when it was still open. I was the sound guy and or manager.
Yep.
And I just did sound for him one night. We hit it off, and it turned out we worked together at my Monday through Friday job.
Yeah.
Okay. So
It's funny because we made friends with it's the Chuck and Brad podcast.
Yep.
Chuck Staten, but he's also in a band called Senior Discount, which is a punk band. Do you know?
I know
those?
Chuck. I actually had them on my show a couple weeks ago.
Oh, did you? Really? Yeah.
Chuck and Brad are really good guys.
Yeah, really funny.
Oh yeah,
really funny,
They
intelligent
have
guys.
a very sick sense of humor too. That's why I get along so well with them.
Yep.
Please come on our show.
Yes, no doubt. Where are you guys out of?
Warren, Rhode Island.
Warren, Rhode Island.
Warren, Rhode Island. Yep.
No problem. You tell me when. I'll be there.
Definitely.
Awesome.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Outstanding.
But yeah, no,
Definitely.
I'm pretty much open schedule. I'm married, so I really have no social life.
Likewise.
And you're like, oh, I'll go now.
I'm pretty sure this entire show was born from that idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that
exactly.
pretty much. It started off. My show started for me as a once a week get out of the house to go drinking. I used to have a 6-pack rule, which means if a 6-pack wasn't killed, we couldn't go on the air.
So we've robbed your show.
Yeah.
Oh no, you haven't. I trust me. Between the ADHD, the drinking, the medication, everything else, my mind is going a mile a minute. I'm literally thinking of what I'm doing after I leave with you guys.
Yeah.
While I'm talking to you guys.
What was that episode of Seinfeld where they had like Bizarro Jerry?
Yeah.
We have Bizarro podcasts right now. You know
Exactly. It's exact. It's just, that's the same way. It was basically us on a Friday night, going out drinking, and just hanging out. We said, well, let's start recording this, and that was it. And that's how the show was born.
Yep.
Well, if you know Justin, one of the side shows that he usually has on his show, in his shows, Sess Carney is a very good friend of mine.
Yep.
So when me and Sess get together, we have a few cocktails. Of course, I dress as a clown when I do live events. So
Awesome.
I'm a clown. Sess is a clown. A few other people, they dress up in whatever various personalities and costume. So you don't know what's going to happen. Because even as whacked out as I seem right now, this is the normal side.
Yeah.
You put me in a little bit of clown makeup and forget it. I have no filters whatsoever. I've made... ROC was performing at Blazes Billiards. One of his hype guys was throwing water out on the crowd, which was great. Get them all hyped up. It's juggalos; they need a bath anyways. Yeah. But when I look up, I see water dripping off my lights. I spent thousands of dollars on the lighting. You're not going to screw up my light.
Yeah.
You can pour acid on the crowd. I don't care.
Yeah.
Don't mess with my gear.
Yeah.
So I very nicely pulled the guy off the stage by his collar, and I just asked him,
By
"Can
his
you
collar.
please?" Oh yeah.
By his collar.
I dragged people
Very
off
nicely.
the stage.
I have dragged people off the stage.
See that? Someone actually nicely dragging someone. Come here, Mr.
Part of that is sarcasm. If you want to figure out which part, we could talk later. But I pulled him off very nicely. I said, "If you get water on my lights one more time, we're going to have a very big issue."
Yeah.
His security guy comes over and says, "What's going on?" I said, "Well, we're just having a little discussion about keeping the lighting in good working order."
Yeah.
He gets back on stage. The first thing he does is he throws water right on my lights. I
Yeah.
dragged him off. I threw him into a corner. He was on his butt against, like, in the corner. And here I am dressed as a clown.
Oh my God.
Hovering,
Oh my
hovering
God.
over him, poking him in the face. Why the fuck are you getting all this shit on my lights? Security guy, who is twice my size, comes over and says, "What are you doing?" My motherfucker's getting water on my lights. If he does it again, I'm kicking his ass.
Yeah.
Security guy says, "Okay," turns around and walks away.
Perfect. I would not.
So,
I would
yeah,
not want to fool with you.
Pastor's not confrontational.
Yeah,
I love it.
But it's
the
funny.
clown
Like,
makeup, it takes off any filter.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that little bit of they
Okay.
can't make out who you are.
That's right.
Point me up in a lineup. I got no makeup on. Go ahead.
I just love that you preface this whole story. When you put clown makeup on, it's like the beginning of every manifesto.
Well, you never hear anything really good happen. Oh, we went out for a salad.
Yeah.
Or, you know. As a clown, you always have to go for the chicken salad because you always have that rubber chicken reference.
Yep.
But given enough time, you know, you learn to eat because the makeup cracks around your mouth and makes you look weird.
Weirder.
Yeah, that's weirder. As a clown. Thank you for pointing that out. That just shows what's coming out of my mouth has no filter up here already.
That's good. I gotta go find a vendor that sells clown makeup now.
Yeah. Actually, up on the 5th floor over here, I got a friend that actually does my makeup.
Oh,
once in a while.
really?
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
Mike, they're expecting you.
Like he's already dressed like one.
Did you ever see Silver Surfer?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what you're going to be when you leave.
Oh man.
Like me, she uses like the Wagner power paint and she just sprays you in a corner. It's great.
Oh man.
All right, so what's next for your show, man? Let's talk about that.
What's next? This Monday, I'm going to be recording all things Comic-Con. Everything that plus I've been doing little posts here and there, 2-minute, 3-minute videos.
Yep.
I've been posting up on my Facebook and all my social media. I will be talking about a few of the things that I didn't catch on the posts that I put up already. I am going to talk a little bit about some of the really weird crap that happened over the weekend for Halloween.
Okay.
Last weekend because I didn't do a show last Monday, so I got to catch up for 2 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah, we're in that weird spot too, man. We don't know what's coming next.
Yeah.
Well, no, if I got to take a weekend off, or if I got to take a week off, or if Tony has to take a week off, or anyone on the show, so you have to skip a week. Well, I had surgery, so I had to skip like 2 months.
Yeah.
Tony had to skip a few, whatever happened. So then you find yourself, I had to make up 2 months in like 2 weeks. So I had all these different shows I had planned out that, all right, and I just get verbal diarrhea worse than I have now. And I just blast through all these subjects in a 1-hour show.
Yeah. That's pretty good,
That's
though.
what's coming up. Mostly, like I said, Comic-Con. I got a few guys coming up. Actually, the vendor from AAA over here out in the main bay over here, turns out he knows my parents. Somehow I got him coming on the show within the next week or two. So the next month he'll be on. I got a few minor local celebrities. I might have Chuck and Brad actually back on my show soon.
Excellent.
We'll see what they got coming up.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, Davey Moore from Alchemy. He's going to be coming down soon. He's got a bunch of stuff that I help him promote. You got the people from Askew, Psycho and Windsong. They come down. Those are the people that run Askew.
Yep.
Really good food on skewers.
Nice.
There's no, they do.
Is there anything better?
Yeah.
There is.
But they do a really good restaurant over there on Chestnut Street. They're going to be coming down, and they've got a bunch of other people coming down.
Awesome.
And hopefully you
Awesome.
guys are going to stop down so we can show you
Absolutely, we
how
are.
not to do a podcast.
Yeah, we're definitely going to. Well, we'll show you how to do that.
We got that covered.
Are you guys doing the? Are you the panel that's doing the how-to podcast?
No, that's our friend Steve.
Our friend Steve was just
a
here.
little while
All right.
ago. Yeah, he
'Cause
was
I'm going to go down there to see how I've been screwing up the last couple of years.
Steve's a good guy. He actually interviewed not 20 minutes before you showed up.
Yeah,
all right.
It was right
Yep.
here. And so, yeah, we're making the right friends here.
Yeah,
apparently.
no, it's working.
But,
Yeah, and me too.
Well,
appreciate it. And we're going to show up on your show and do just that.
We'd definitely like to be involved at one time. Come down and do something. That would be fantastic. And we'll
Yeah,
talk
that'd be
more
All right,
about
so
it.
give me
love
your best shameless plug and your best shameless promo. Go.
Make sure you listen in My Night Out Radio, only on RIFreeRadio.org every night, 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. and Mondays live 7 to 8 p.m.
And that's
Definitely,
DJ
man.
Psycho Eddie.
DJ Psycho Eddie.
Yeah.
Take more swag. Thank you, guys. I will.
Another industry friend we got to mention is a guy who hung out all 3 days, and we want to give a big shout out to Steve from the Super Retro Throwback Reviews.
Yeah, he
podcast.
was awesome.
Hell yeah,
Fucking
man.
fantastic guy. He
did a
came by
panel?
all. Yeah, he did a couple, right?
Knowledgeable guy too. Man.
Yeah, he
Big
had
time.
a panel of Podcasting 101, I think it was
Yeah, he
called.
did
Yeah.
a couple of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he basically told people how to do what we're trying to learn how to do.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yep.
And he's, you know what? He's smarter than all of us.
Yes.
Wicked
yes,
down
yes.
to earth, so like nonchalant, kind of. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
very calm.
Yeah.
Everything's very laid
Almost
back.
soothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost soothing for a guy who talks about old school video games, which were the most frenetic things ever.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very soothing. But actually, I took some time and I listened. I don't listen to many other podcasts, but the ones I like, I really like, and this is one of them.
No,
Yeah.
it was good.
So
It
that
was
Super
definitely
Retro Throwback, really, honestly, check them out. Steve, we did some recording with you, and we want to thank you for taking some time to hang out with us. So here it is.
Steven, we've seen you a couple of times this week. Come by. You've become a friend of the show.
Yeah.
You know.
Have you actually had a chance to listen to the show? What do you think so far?
Oh, well, actually, no, I haven't yet.
All right.
All right, so that's why he's still here with us
that's why
today.
he's still here.
Yeah. Once you hear the show, you might not want to come back later.
So you got your own podcast,
I do.
and you interview everybody. Like,
This year, with the press pass, they've been very strict on who, like, we can't interview guests, we can't film panels and record panels, but the past years they've told us that we could interview guests and record panels, but I think it's because of the lineup. They were like, no, they can't.
yeah.
But
I'm actually curious, if you don't mind me interrupting. What is the benefit, do you think, having done this now for 3 days? What do you see as the benefit of having a press pass if the celebrities are all kind of turning away these interviews?
not having to stand in line.
Well, that's a very good answer.
That's always a good thing.
We've agreed we're going to get a table every year just to have access to the back door.
I'm actually tempted now because I've been wanting to do a booth here for a couple years, but you know what? I've done booths at other conventions, and this is the one that's always drove me away.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
because of the money.
Yeah, it's yep.
And just the fact that I really don't have. I'm a one-man show.
Yep.
And I'd be here by myself, and if I wanted to go up to get an autograph from someone, I really can't leave the table.
Yeah,
you guys
exactly.
know because you've been given the strict rules. So, you can't leave your table.
You can't leave your table unattended. Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
so-
Yeah, I was a little blown away by the security walking in here, but that's another story for another episode.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, you know what? How can you talk? I'm just coming onto your show right now, but you just had someone on your show. So initial reaction from
Stunned. I was just stunned. I was kind of like for a
I was
second.
blown away. I don't get starstruck too easily. And that's why these events are easy for me, because I don't. Oh yeah, I ran into so and so outside, and I was like, yeah, he's a nice person.
Yeah,
I don't get
exactly.
too freaked out by it. But in concept of the show, in terms of the show, and the fact that getting that kind of promotion. Hold on, somebody wants to take a photo with you.
To be honest, I've never seen Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Is that what this is? I didn't even know.
That cosplay is.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if that cosplay is.
I unfortunately have,
I don't quite get it.
Yeah, I
Throwing
don't get
food
it.
in a movie theater is not something that I've ever encouraged.
Well, they do it for the movie The Room too. They throw spoons and.
Yeah. The Room I could see because it's so horrendously bad that it's funny. You know.
Did
I
you
don't
guys
think
see
they
The
were aiming for
Disaster
that.
Artist earlier this year?
Yes, they did. It was a really good job they did
Yeah.
with that.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. But so, who have you interviewed here this week?
Well, I haven't interviewed any celebrities, obviously, but
you got some artists.
This
correct?
counts. This counts being on here.
Outstanding.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Michael Rooker.
I got to get my picture taken with Danny Trejo.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
back,
that's
back
cool.
in the
Yeah.
house, but hush hush on that. Because I was helping Angry Geeks with their panels, and I got to sit in the green room and stuff, and I got to take my picture with Danny Trejo.
That's cool.
I got to interview Tim Jones from Sour Grapes.
Yep.
And that was pretty much it. I mean, my coverage is very dull because I got to help Angry Geeks with all their panels all day yesterday.
Yeah, that's right. You were. Yeah, I remember you said that. They asked you to give them a hand, and you were with them pretty much for the rest of the day after that.
And you're doing a panel today too. Which panel are you doing?
It's called So You Want to Be a Podcaster?
Yeah.
So,
well, yeah, that should be the name of our entire weekend.
well, because the fact of people don't do podcasting 101 at conventions.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, why don't I be the forefront of that? Why don't I start doing that? You know, you have motivational speakers at colleges. And I said, why don't I do a motivational type of lecture?
Because you've gone to broadcasting school. You
Yes.
have you know what I mean? You have this experience with all this stuff.
And I've been doing it for 3 years. And actually this weekend marks the 3-year anniversary of Super Retro Throwback Reviews.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So
Nice.
it's kind of a celebration of sorts.
Yep.
And it's going to be telling people the tips and tricks, the risks and rewards
Yep.
of how to start a podcast.
Yes.
So, and people who want a refresher, you know, I'm sure, obviously, you guys are going to want to know how to boost that Michael Rooker thing.
Yep.
So, feel free to stop by.
Well, I suggest having Michael Rooker just randomly walk by.
I want to be in Mike's basement and have Michael Rooker show up through the back screen door.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm still in Rhode Island, and I can't get out. Yeah, he's blown away by the fact that it's not an island.
Yeah.
And it's not the first time we've had that discussion on this show either.
So what time is your panel today?
It's at 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock?
In
Awesome.
room 553B. Before the show, I kind of messed up because I thought it was 558B, and that's what they told me in the email.
Yeah.
And I went over there on Friday, and I looked in, and it was Zombie Leader, had that whole room. And I had to take to Twitter, I had to take to Instagram, I had to take to Facebook, and I had to do multiple videos, multiple posts, and I said, I fucked up.
Yeah.
It's room 553B, not 558B. If you want to see Zombie Leader, go ahead. But if you want to see my panel, it's 553B.
Yeah.
I know on social media whenever I see the headline, I fucked up, I immediately click
I'm
that.
definitely reading it.
Yeah. Because there's so many ways it can go.
So I mean, so that's awesome. So you got your panel is at 2.
Yep.
Well, exactly. What was the time exactly?
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
But I'm going to be there at 1:45 setting up because I'm going to be recording it.
Setting up. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited. And I have a
Awesome.
special guest. Louis Perry from the Angry Geeks is going to be joining me.
Awesome. That's cool.
So,
Yeah.
All right, we'll make sure to get that on social media.
Yeah, we'll get that out there. We're going to share that.
All right, give us the name of the session again and the room number.
So it's So You Want to Be a Podcaster today, Sunday, November 4th, in room 553B at 2 o'clock.
We're going to do our best to get that on social media right away so we can promote that for you.
Yeah.
But, let's be in touch, man. I don't think this is a one-time conversation. It's a little hard to have one here with all the noise.
Yeah,
and
there's so much
but,
noise.
I think we have more discussions to have, not only about Comic-Con, but about comic book culture in general.
Yeah.
And just the takeaways from this show. So we're definitely going to be in touch off the air, and we'll set it up so we're back on the air again real soon.
Looking forward to it.
All right. Thanks so much, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you very
Anytime.
much, Steve.
All right, but if you thought that Craig's celebrity whoring ended with Brian O'Halloran from Clerks, you clearly don't know Craig or you never listened to the show. And if you haven't listened to the show, shame on you, motherfucker.
All right.
One guy we wanted, Craig has been mentioning his name since we signed up for Comic-Con. And he said, we're going to get him. I'm like, I don't think so. And then I said, well, there's some other ones we should target. And Craig's like, no, I want this guy.
No
And
shit, right? He was like fucking 100 miles an hour after him for months, thinking about it.
Because I knew he's a laid back guy. He's a friendly guy.
He's one of us.
I knew he would do it. I knew he would do it. And I wish I got longer. And that's the thing with Rhode Island Comic Con is they allow you to do interviews with these people as long as you're not backing up a line.
Hey, kudos to you, bro. Here's to you, Craig, for calling it for fucking months, dude.
Yep.
You said it.
And I only got to ask him one question, and it was quick because as soon there was no one at the table at that minute.
Yeah.
And I walked up, and it's the second I walked up and started talking to his handler, all of a sudden I noticed there's a crowd gathering behind me, and his assistant or whatever already said, yeah, he'll do it. So I was like, I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
But
You're not gonna hurry me
I
up.
was like, I'm still doing it. But I was like, you know what? I'll just do I'll ask him the one question.
Did it
and
for
it
the
was
show,
the one
bro.
question that I was waiting, that I wanted to ask him. I just thought it was funny. It kind of summed up some things. And this is what I got from him. It was it's quick. But it's to the point.
But you got your man.
Yeah.
All right, here at Rhode Island Comic Con, Bam Margera. So there's one question I wanted to ask. When you were, let's say, when you were in high school, 15 years old, did it ever dawn on you that one day Billy Idol will be cutting the fucking roof off of your car?
That's one random one. I got the purple Lamborghini, and Billy Idol was playing in Atlantic City, and randomly I'm like, what can we film with Billy Idol? Because he's down to film.
Yeah.
Let's have him cut my Lambo roof off. Why not? So he was down to do it, and so was I. So it worked out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but I never thought in a million years that would happen.
Yeah.
So that was fucking cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
awesome.
And again, very gracious guy. Maybe a little disappointing if you were expecting him to be a jackass.
Right, yeah, exactly.
I kind of
Yeah.
wanted him to just like punch somebody in the nads,
Yeah.
I
would have loved to have actually got to sit down with him and ask him the questions that I actually had.
Yeah.
But it was I just pulled the one question that I really wanted to ask him out. So you got that. And it was
That
the
was
Billy
awesome.
Idol one.
Hey, better that than nothing. Because I honestly, by day 2, I was like, is anybody going to go get a celebrity?
Yeah.
We got a local one.
Yes.
And I will say this. I know earlier in the show I was really down on wrestlers. Really down.
Yeah.
But every now and then a local wrestler comes in and just kind of reaffirms my love of this sport.
That's right,
This
man.
form of entertainment.
That's right.
Yes.
And we would be remiss if we didn't mention and play some audio from a friend of the show.
Friend of the show. He was there all 3 days.
And honestly, a friend of the people.
Yes.
A gentleman who goes by Steve the Turtle Weiner. And he'll be wrestling actually around here.
This coming weekend?
Or maybe, actually, I think it's after
the
Thanksgiving.
following weekend, yes.
It's after Thanksgiving. It's going to be at Fett Music Hall in Providence, Rhode Island, with the promotion Wrestling Has a Tomorrow. And yes, it is what is the name of it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But you know what? I could describe it until I'm blue in the face. There's absolutely no other way to do this than to just play the audio. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Steve the Turtle Weiner.
Steven, how are you?
I am fantastic, sir. It is great to be here on the Needless to Say podcast live from Rhode Island Comic Con, Day 3.
Wow.
All right. That's awesome.
Wow, that's
That
a
is
reaction
awesome.
I haven't gotten since my wedding night.
Oh, I hope it was a fantastic wedding night, sir. I wouldn't know because I've been single my whole life, sad face.
With a voice like that, I had no idea.
You'd be surprised.
So you're promoting your wrestling event?
That's right. I have a wrestling event coming up. I'm going to be debuting for Wrestling Has a Tomorrow 8 live from the Fett Music Hall in Providence, Rhode Island, Sunday, November 18th. Tickets are still on sale at WrestlingHasATomorrow.com. It's an all-ages event with a full bar if you're over 21. VIP opens at 4 p.m. The doors are at 4:30 p.m. And, of course, the bell time is at 5 p.m. Get your tickets now.
That is outstanding. Now, let me ask you a question. Are the people at Wrestling Has It Tomorrow aware that their acronym is what?
Yes, they are.
All right.
That's the whole point behind it.
So is it like a play on the Steve Austin thing from way back when?
Well, that's why there's an exclamation point at the end, so it's not to be confused. He's got the question mark. We have the exclamation point.
Oh, so it's more like what?
Yeah.
All right.
That's
Just
awesome.
to be clear.
That's awesome.
So you're familiar with Wrestling Has It Tomorrow. This is your first show for them, though, correct?
I used to timekeep for them, but I will be competing for them for the very first time.
All right. So who are you facing, if you don't mind me asking?
I am a participant in the Rumble for Tomorrow. It is a Royal Rumble where a new participant will enter every 30 seconds. Of course, 2 people will start, and the last man standing will be entered into the What Scramble at What 9 when we announce the date for next year.
Excellent. And so what's the main prize? Is it going to be a shot for the heavyweight championship?
It's the honor to compete in What Wrestling signature match, the Scramble match.
Outstanding. Outstanding. So what do you think your odds are? How are you feeling? Feeling
Well,
pretty good
I
about
am
it?
a master of the Battle Royal Rumble, so I would say, depending on what number I draw, I should be doing very good, as long as I don't run into Bob Evans.
Bob Evans, like the guy who makes the sausages down south?
Or Midwest. No, Brutal Bob Evans was the person who trained me in professional wrestling. He's a participant in the upcoming Battle Royal.
Oh, so the student meets the master.
Yes, only the second time we're ever going to be competing against one another. He got the win over me last time. That was like 7 years ago, maybe.
But now the student has become the master.
Hopefully. If he eliminates me, I still got a lot to learn.
All right, but 7 years in, I believe tables have turned.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly. You're feeling good about the match. You're facing your mentor.
Yes, I am.
And so when this takes place, do you have anything you want to say? You want any trash talk you want to throw to these people?
Now's the time, because there's nobody coming back at you.
To anyone that's competing in the Rumble for tomorrow, hello, peoples. My name is Steve the Turtle Weiner, and I have waited many, many years to compete in the Vet Music Hall in any type of wrestling match. I waited nearly a decade, and I am not going to waste this opportunity. I am not coming to compete for just one time. I'm going to earn my spot on the What roster, and then I will earn my spot into the What Scramble at What 9, and then it's only on to bigger and better things from here, because I am Steve the Turtle Weiner, and it's time to shell up.
Nice.
Well, I don't think we have anything else to say after that.
Needless to say,
He said it.
He said it, exactly.
All right, so that was Hell in the Shell, Steve Weiner. Steve,
Hell in the Shell.
We are going to definitely try and maybe be there. Nah, Steve, we love you, man. Thanks for hanging out.
That
It
was
was a
awesome,
great time.
man.
I know that you've been checking out the show, and you've definitely been active on Twitter.
Yeah.
So we're another friend. Again, that's the
he's-
theme tonight.
And he was great. He was a lot of fun to have at the table. You know, I mean, he brought some fun with
I
it.
love the
It was a
work
great-
that he puts into his characters, man. It's fucking phenomenal.
No, he's
I
spot
enjoyed
on.
that big time.
He's
spot on.
dedicated.
Great.
He's dedicated.
dedicated
to
what he
He
does.
doesn't have a traditional character, doesn't have a traditional look, but that's the beauty of it, right?
That is
Yeah.
the beauty of it,
Yep.
man. and
He
it's
showed us
awesome.
a
I
video.
loved
He
it.
has this other character he's working on when he goes bad.
Awesome.
Yeah.
His heel character.
That was
fucking
that was
awesome,
freaking
man.
ridiculous.
And it was all made on like iMovie.
It's scary.
It was fucking crazy.
It was
I got
phenomenal.
goosebumps right now. I don't
Like-
want to go to the beach anymore.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
It was on the beach right at like dawn.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
like steam coming off the
coming
water.
off. It was freaking awesome.
It was fucking.
It was a
It
good
was
job,
awesome.
and you know he didn't want to use the lantern because there's a wrestler in WWE that
Yeah.
uses one. But truth be told, he did it better.
He did it
He
better.
did
Did it
do
better.
it better.
So
He
Steve,
did.
put that as a feather in your cap. Three
Hell yeah,
guys,
bro.
and one of
Fans.
them who knows wrestling. But we're
Shell
all
yeah.
fans.
Yep.
We're all fans. Shell yeah, he says.
I love it.
All right, but you know, I think we've been building up. Anybody who's followed us on social media knows there was one moment, one key moment, and for once, it was one that we didn't go after, and I think that's
Yeah.
what made it even better. We were in the middle of interviewing Vortex Man that you heard a few clips ago, and I looked over my shoulder because I was standing up, and I noticed that somebody was there doing an Instagram live while getting fitted for new shoes.
Well, one new shoe.
Yeah,
One
one
new
new
shoe. And it turned out to be Michael Rooker from Guardians of the Galaxy and The Walking Dead, Days of Thunder, and a million other things. Really, really cool guy. What I didn't expect was that he was going to come to us.
Yeah.
I wasn't about to walk away from Vortex Man. The guy granted us a wonderful interview. And if we missed out, we missed out. But I kind of thought this would have been cool. And son of a bitch found us.
Yeah.
and then he broadcast it live, and then he decided to save it and put it on YouTube.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
A quick Google search will
fucking
find you
awesome.
the video where you can see me dancing
Yeah.
around in the background. We film each other because I had him live
Yep.
on something. But I think it's worth listening to on here. So, any words?
You can
any
also
words?
see my
Any words? It was shock when I just heard, "Hey, what do you guys got here? Is this a podcast? Can I be on it?"
He
And I
had
look
he
up.
actually grabbed our microphone
Yeah.
and was fucking
Yeah, and I look up, and
interviewing
it's
us.
Michael Rooker,
basically.
and I'm like, "What? No, you can't be on it." What am I gonna say?
Well, we
What a
got children
fucking great
spinning
guy.
the wheel.
Yeah.
we can't let you on. Of course,
Yeah.
you're going to be
It-
on.
it was
he
amazing.
was with us for a good what? Well,
and he was
you'll see.
and he gave us about a good 5-6 minutes of audio,
And I
Probably
think we
more
should
than
listen
that.
to it
and
now.
here it is.
From his perspective.
Yeah.
This
Yes,
was his audio.
This was his audio.
Oh, who's that? Whoa.
We're big time show.
Who are these? These are like radio thing people.
Right?
What do you guys do here?
We're a podcast.
You're doing a podcast?
We are. Hey, can I film you filming me?
Can I say something on your podcast?
I would love
Are
to.
you on right now? Here, we're going to say something on this guy's. What's your podcast called?
Needless to say.
Needless to say podcast. You guys are broadcasting 24/7 in the U.S. right here, right?
No pressure.
Not 24/7?
Not quite.
Not quite 24/7, but 23/7.
23.
23/7. They got to have an hour off. Okay, and this is our Needless to Say podcast. Hey, everybody. Am I on yet?
Mike's on. We got to get that program.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get that sucker on.
We're not going to lose you. You can stay right in.
I'm ready.
All right.
I'm on right now, right?
You are on.
Okay, and who are you, man?
I'm Craig.
You got your own mic. You don't need this one. Okay, this is Michael Rooker, and I'm on Needless to Say podcast, and which is being Instagrammed live all over America and the world. My millions of fans, hordes and hordes of fans are watching this right now. And I have fans at this table. He's so nervous, he's sweating.
Oh, man.
This is really hard. You've been working?
He's always like that.
Look, this is what a forehead looks like when somebody actually works. Good for nothing, scum-sucking pigs. Get your asses up off your couches. Get down here to where are we again?
Rhode Island.
Oh, yeah, Rhode Island. We're at Rhode Island. It doesn't even feel like a damn island to me. Is it a real island?
No.
It's not even why the hell they call it Rhode Island.
We've been trying to figure that out.
Oh, nobody knows. I'm going to find out. I'm going to find out from my history buffs why they call this damn place Rhode Island, this beautiful place Rhode Island. You're near Boston, right? Yeah, Boston's about an hour and a half away. Okay. That's not far at all. Yeah.
How you enjoying? You enjoying walking around, checking out the
I've been
comics?
enjoying it. Yeah. Why do you have a skull? This is like your dead friend?
Yeah. He's just
what
hanging
was
out
his
here
name?
all night.
I was the last guest for you.
Yeah.
Do you have a name?
bored him to death.
Oh, what? But you don't remember who he is?
How about you?
Virgil. I named him Virgil.
His name is Virgil.
Christened Virgil. This is Virgil, everyone.
Yeah.
At the Needless to Say podcast. And him and I are having a conversation. So, Virg, how long you been on the show, dude? He doesn't talk very much.
He's quiet. He's been quiet for a couple
So what's funny is if you said that about Mike, it'd be the
What do
same.
you guys talk about on this thing?
It's old school radio.
Old school radio.
Yeah, we do like Opie and Anthony, Howard Stern back before he...
Really?
Yeah.
You rebroadcast old shows?
No. It's the kind of
Vintage? Oh, that same kind of vibe. Oh, the same vibe. Like, you guys don't do poopy talk here, right?
We do.
Like, you do poopy talk? Like, what kind of poopy talk you do? Give me one example of a poopy talk phrase that you do.
There's no kids around here, right?
There ain't no kids, and there are no kids listening to your podcast, right? Actually, do you have a number of how many people listen to this thing right now? 0. No.
Let's put it this way. Once a week, I tell these guys to eat it there.
Oh, jeez. Oh, that is sick. That is sick. Oh, man, I can't even repeat that on my Instagram Live. I think it slipped past them.
Yeah, it might have got past that microphone.
That's way more than poopy talk. That's like, yucky talk. Oh my God! Have you guys introduced yourselves? These schmucks have never even introduced themselves. Go ahead. Hey, come on, dude. Who are you?
No, I'm Craig.
This is Craig.
That's Mike.
That's Mikey.
And Brad's the foul mouth.
And Brad is the foul mouth. Looking like a skunk-sucking pig. And look here, they got giveaways here. You can give these. You can probably give these away. It's a. It's a pancake thing.
We got it. Yeah.
Star Wars waffle maker.
Waffle maker. Yeah. We give it.
Huh? Who is that? Is that Vortex Man? Hello, Vortex Man. How are you?
He's Vortex Man.
Oh, right. No, he's Vortex Man. Vortex Man. What's your powers?
Some powers are clean up the environment.
You clean up the environment? Vortex Man cleans up the environment with this massive, major vortex that all the garbage and trash and plastics in our oceans get sucked into. Where does it go once it's all gone from our oceans and stuff? Once Vortex Man's got it, you recycle it.
Completely recycle.
They recycle everything. They completely recycle everything. Okay, and if you got a foul mouth like one of these guys has down here, you will be vortexed up and recycled. Okay? Okay, you guys, I got to get going. All right. My live Instagram has gone down to 7. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Right. Is this live Instagram too?
I was doing live Facebook.
Live Facebook? Oh, no shit. You still on? Live Instagram, live Facebook. Look at that, you guys. It looks the same. Look. Wow. Facebook Live, Instagram Live.
That's it.
That's a dueling live
We
stuff.
just found the end of the universe.
This is what's at the end of the vortex. Oh, God. Get me out of here.
All right, so if you go to our Facebook, you'll see our perspective. But I actually think his perspective was better.
Yep.
Because you got a really good view of Mike's head.
Yeah.
That was great.
That was great.
The best part of that, though, when he said that's the head of a guy who works.
Oh, I looked at Brad immediately, and Brad looked at me.
Why you guys? Why? I
just
fucking
started
work,
laughing,
man.
I know you were.
I know,
All
but
right.
a year ago, we weren't saying this
I
about
know
you.
you were. Well, what the fuck? It's not my fault.
But it was so funny.
Surgeries.
But he was awesome, and he's so out of
his mind.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I was looking for.
It's fucking something you haven't seen because that's him.
That's it. He's like going for
Everybody's
it.
used to his characters
and he
and shit.
busted our balls.
And he also mentioned our show's name 6 times on
Six
live
times.
Instagram.
Yeah.
With to his quote-unquote millions of
Million.
fans.
The best was
5.
He was doing that. He was
0.
doing that at the booth before. He's like, my millions, my droves and droves, my millions of fans. Look at my Instagram. It's at 500,000. Oh no, wait, that's 50.
Yeah. Well, then at the end of us, he's like, yeah, it's down to 7 people.
Yeah. That's what he said. Where are we at now?
I'm here with
we got
needless to
7 people.
say, with their followers. Wait, what's that? 0.
He goes, how many people you got? 0?
Then he asked me if I did poopy talk, so I just felt the need to say eat a dick.
Yes.
I had to do, we were all looking for children in the area, and I'm like, okay, we're clear. Eat a dick.
Yeah.
And buy cross pens.
Yeah, and yep. But that was
That made
was
my
on-
weekend.
The artist next door to us actually had a picture of him with the mohawk.
Yes,
Did you see
yeah,
that?
yeah.
They actually gave
They
it
gave
to
it
him
to
and
him,
signed
yeah.
it was pretty cool.
And it was just really cool that he just showed up out of the blue. And that was our last day.
No shit.
That was
Sunday.
wrapping us up. That's when like Brad looked at me. You were out front, and Brad just looked at me and said, "I can't believe that just happened." And I was like,
I remember
I'm
looking at you
frantically
like,
trying to save it.
Yeah.
I'm like, this needs to be saved 10 fucking times in 4 folders because this is insane.
The only time I see Craig's eyes bigger than his glasses.
And it was, and it wasn't.
This happened.
It wasn't. I've met him before a few times, so it wasn't like that. I wasn't like fucking starstruck.
Yes, you were.
No, I was. No,
Yes, you were, definitely.
No, it wasn't that I was starstruck. I was starstruck
came
at the
to
fact
us.
that he came to us and wanted to record with us.
Yeah, it was great.
It was more shock than starstruck.
I think it
You
kind
know?
of it justified the weekend.
Yes.
It did.
You know, there were moments. We
Perfect
haven't
cherry
mentioned
on
them
top.
on here. We started out the show talking about having some doubts.
Yes.
But one of the things I have to say, by Saturday night, as much fun as we had spinning the wheel with people, Was it really going to boost our listenership? No. Especially considering the number of children. But truth be told, I was worried that, we told them, hey, the kids can't listen to this.
Yeah.
And things like that. So we were an R-rated podcast in a very PG crowd.
PG crowd, yeah.
And so we were already out of our element a bit. And I was worried that maybe we overstepped and that we thought we were going to get more than we did. Our listenership went up on Friday big time.
Yeah.
We got a nice boost on Friday. Ironically, when Michael Rooker put us on his live Instagram, we had one of our worst days in weeks. I have no idea. Maybe they were just getting their fill from other sources.
Yeah,
I don't know
of
about the
course.
metrics that come from this site anyway,
of
but
course.
whatever. But based on our host, it wasn't very good. But that justified it.
Yeah.
This is why we went to a Comic-Con. We wanted to rub elbows with some people. We wanted to get seen by potential like-minded audience members.
And we did. And
We
that's
did.
it.
We
Whether it
definitely
comes out that we gained listeners out of this weekend as much as we gained connections with other colleagues, other podcasts.
That's what we wanna do.
With Steven, with DJ Psycho Eddie, and people like Carl from Codex Prime.
That was a killer podcast.
Killer podcast. That's all pop culture.
Actually, they have their Comic-Con episode that just came out.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping he shouted us.
I hope so.
Because we hung out with him for a few minutes. Great guy.
We talked, and he wants to collaborate.
And we will.
We've got his card.
Good guys, definitely.
I mean, we made some connections, which
Well,
was
was
awesome.
that your defining moment? Because mine was this. Mine was, at one point, I was getting beer. Shocking, again, I know. But I was getting beer, and somebody in line looked at me and said, "Hey, you're the guys from the podcast."
Yeah, that's right.
Well,
we did.
It wasn't that. It was when we were leaving on day 2, and people were beeping at us and waving to us in,
like, who's
in
this
the
guy?
in the parking garage.
We were on the highway. We were just getting on the highway. Guy in a truck.
The guy in the truck pulled
He's
up.
like, hey,
He's
what's
like,
up,
"Hey,
man?
What's up, guys?"
Like,
and waved to us.
I
do
think
I know this guy?
it was
And
that
I didn't
moment.
put two and two
It was
together,
those
you know?
moments, I should say,
Yeah.
that kind of justified it. It
Yeah.
basically said, you know what? We know what we're doing. And somebody said, wow, we'd never had a podcast here before.
Yeah.
There are 1 million artists, 1 million guys selling T-shirts, 1 million guys selling comic books. Nobody ever had a podcast. I guarantee you next year there will be other podcasts.
I
at
hope so.
Comic-Con.
I hope so.
I think it's good.
So too, man.
I hope so.
It's good for the community. It's good for the shows, but I have to admit, I kind of don't want them either because I kind of want this to be our thing.
but
that too. But
once
mean-
once we stepped into the ring, that's how it goes, man. Other people are gonna,
We're not on a Star trip, by the way.
Yeah,
I don't want anybody thinking we're on a Star trip.
No,
We're not.
no. We did what we did, and we got what we got out of it. Did it? It's not shot us through the fucking roof. Or
No,
anything.
we didn't really get
not
much
even
of anything.
close. But what we did is we made friends, we made connections, and
It was a
that's-
success
that's-
when I wasn't expecting it.
That's a success to me. We met the guys from the podcast one of the guys. He turns out to be my next door neighbor.
Yeah, which is just ridiculous.
Which
I
is
know,
seriously right? For years he's been my neighbor, and I didn't know. Which is Chuck, and that's from the Chuck and Brad podcast.
Another awesome.
And these guys are huge.
These guys are huge, very huge. He's he's got a huge film background, and if you've listened to the show before, you've heard me talk about Tell 'em Steve Dave before. Right.
Yep.
And this is the guy that I met because he does all the filming for Tell 'em Steve Dave.
And
this
somehow-
this is my next door neighbor.
And it's your next door fucking neighbor.
Yeah.
And you guys do nothing. You didn't even wave to each other.
No, not at all.
So you got the Comic-Con.
Yeah, and we met them. We met them
Yeah.
this weekend, and I'm like, they're doing a big show at the Comedy Connection. They're doing a live broadcast from the Comedy Connection,
And we'll be
Sunday
there.
night, and we'll be there. Those guys are awesome.
Oh, they came by and saw us.
Yeah, they came by. Shook our hands. I wish we could have recorded with them for a bit, but they were busy. They were doing panels.
They
We
had
have to
all
watch
kinds
our
of shit
mouths
to
with
do.
them, I think.
Well, we're a little more. We swear a little more than. I mean,
We
they're
drink-
not
drink a little more.
Yeah, they're not. They're not angels.
We can be us. We can be us.
they
We
do
just
their
don't want to
thing,
be.
But they are funny.
overly us.
They're very intelligent, very funny,
And they've been doing this a long
and they've been doing it a long
time.
time. And
Holy shit,
I
we
think,
can't say anything like that about us.
But I mean, you know, they're great guys. It's a great show. I've been enjoying it. I've been listening to it and enjoying it.
Yeah.
And it was just so funny to find out that this guy's legitimately my next door neighbor. He's right there.
This is like when I woke up one morning and I saw Howard Stern getting his mail.
Yeah.
Who'd have thunk it? But all right,
But I mean,
I think we should wrap it up. We're gonna talk more about Chuck and Brad because we're going to the show on Sunday.
Yeah, we're going
night.
to the show on Sunday.
So we're gonna give them more airtime. But I actually think it's an equal play thing. Chuck and Brad, if you're listening, shout us a little bit, wouldn't you?
Right.
Honestly. But I think, do we have any takeaways and regrets? We've kind of been discussing it the whole time.
Yeah, it's been we've learned what we need to do, and we've learned what we don't need to do.
Yeah. I think more focus on recording.
Yes.
I think we need to go live.
That is number one. Right
We need to go live. I think going live will make us seem more like a radio show and less like a bunch of guys pretending. And if we do some live recording and maybe you make a little on-air sign so nobody comes up to the booth at that point, that would be killer. And then maybe some people would be really like, just anything to get on. Like the people who jump in the back of the video outside the football games when they do that. That's what I'm thinking.
Another thing, too, maybe
Fuck her
next
right in
year.
the pussy.
That was a great game. Notre Dame forever.
Another thing I think we should do next year is get some of our orange swag to give away.
Oh,
But if you can't get it there, you can always go to teespring.com and get our stuff.
That's right.
It's good
Teespring.com.
Why do you go into your Bob Ross
He goes
voice?
into the Bob Ross
I don't know
whispering
what it is.
so nobody can hear it. Don't buy our stuff because you can't hear me.
No, it's not that. I'm trying to like, it's like
Nah.
a subliminal message. Buy our stuff.
Teespring.com.
Teespring.com.
Buy our shit.
Thank you. There you go.
Vietnam was wrong. That was like the first day when we were walking to Pizzeria Uno. We're outside, and we were talking about Vietnam for some reason.
What the fuck
and we're surrounded by Asian people, and I just go, "Fuck Charlie."
Fuck Charlie, right? And I'm like this. I'm going like this. He's
Yeah.
like,
And I'm racist, right? I'm the racist guy in the elevator.
I never said they couldn't walk with us.
But dude, you were quick because
Okay.
I didn't even see that you noticed that he was there. He's like,
But before we close this out, I want to give a shout out to our new friends, and it's DJ Psycho Eddie, Chuck and Brad from the Chuck and Brad podcast, the two fabulous people at Morrible Art, AT Cross Pens, Chroma Key Art. Check them out. Awesome stuff. Vortex Man. Isaac, thank you very much for coming by and speaking with us for a little bit. It was
Again,
awesome.
vortexman1.com.
Yes. Steve from Retro Games.
And also Steve the Turtle Whiner.
Hell yeah!
And then actually, I want to throw one last shout out. We have a fan, somebody who came all the way from New York to go to Rhode Island Comic Con. She's from upstate New York.
Yep.
She's not from the New York I know. She's from way up. And she came all the way out, and she actually reached out to us this week. And so I'd like to throw a shout out to Tina.
Tina,
we really appreciate all the kind words you had for us, and hopefully this is the beginning of a long relationship of us ruining your commute.
Right? I want to throw a shout out to the two kids dressed as ninjas that stabbed Steve the Turtle Whiner in the balls with the sword.
And to his credit, he didn't miss a beat. That
Nope.
audio we played, he
Yep.
was getting stabbed in the sack
Yeah.
by two little children dressed as ninjas.
Yeah.
By
Did
the way,
not skip a
worst
beat.
ninjas ever, though.
Yeah, terrible.
Worst ninjas.
And there was a little girl that was dressed up as Rey. Brad, take us out.
From Star Wars. This girl, I mean, I have my own daughter. I have my own wife, but this little girl stole my heart. I swear to God,
Brad,
she was so into
wicked.
she was
Yeah,
so
she
into
was
the
into it big
character.
time.
Yeah.
And even more so, she was so into spinning our wheel and making her dad fill out tickets.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's like, no, not another
She's
one.
like, Daddy, 5 more. Daddy, 5 more. This guy was getting carpal tunnel just writing his name and
Yeah.
email address. And you know the worst part? He didn't win.
No.
They didn't win anything. But I would give this girl so many Darth Vader waffle makers. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
But you know what? Guys, I want to raise one last toast, not only for what we mentioned in the beginning of the show, but also to each other. Comic-Con,
Comic-Con.
We did it.
See you next year.
We did it,
You
guys.
convinced me. We will be back next year. I'd also like to throw a shout to the listeners, both of you that have remained. Next week, we're going to get back to normal.
Yes.
And we're not going to talk about Comic-Con.
Nope.
We're not going to be shilling for celebrities.
No.
We're going to get back to skewering the people that
I don't know
we
about
really
normal, but we'll get back to what we were doing.
Well, it's going to be a good show because, Mike, I'm pretty sure you're going to be sick and not going to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Needless to say, we said it.